They've won 2 of those, drawn 1, got 7 points. But more importantly, you mentioned the games that are coming up against those sides. They've beaten Everton and West Ham, the teams that are around them. The Everton win, obviously Nori getting the winner in the 92nd minute, obviously gives you that sort of little bit of relief that gets the players buying into the players a lot quicker. You mentioned there that they've spent, I think, £75 million in the January transfer window, where they needed a couple of midfield players. You've got Sarabia, who will be playing today probably on the right hand side. We just introduced the Gomez to come out on the pitch. He's not playing today. He can play in that midfield area as well, but I think he's not playing today because in Brazil he was still in their pre-season, wasn't he? So I don't think
we've been heard he's way off it in terms of being fit and match fit and ready to step straight in. That's what we've been told, Dan.
Matheus Cunha, Dan, the forward, arrived in January from Atletico Madrid on a loan deal. He will become a £43 million permanent move in the summer if they want him, making him Wolves' record signing. All eyes on him. Can he be that focal point? Can he be the man that frees Wolves of the shackles?
Somebody's got to step up and do that because Jimenez has not been the same player since his fractured skull injury. Podence has chipped in fairness to him, with a few goals on the left-hand side of the front three. But that's what Lopetegui is. That's the main problem he's got to solve, finding a chief source of goals from a centre forward. Now, he's had 6 appearances, admittedly not all starts, Cunha, yet to score, but we should give him, a bit of leeway and just see whether he can ease his way into it.
You know what the little worry is, though? He hadn't scored for Atletico either. I think 17 games, was it? At the beginning of the season.
He's waiting for an important game. Perry.
Yes, well,
like Liverpool at home.
Yeah, well, what better way to endear yourselves on it to the Wolves faithful here? And as Dan said there, they've got to find, so even if they spread the goals around the side, because they haven't scored in half their Premier League games this season, haven't scored in 10 of the games. But the one thing under Lopetegui, which I've noticed, is they are committing more players into the box, because before, when they were in wide areas, the midfield was far too deep and weren't getting himself. Even Ruben Neves, who's normally the deepest midfield player, he's getting himself in and around the penalty area. So at least he's sort of changed that philosophy a little bit, so to get more players in goal-scoring positions.
The words of Lopetegui. Perry, as the sides ready themselves in the tunnels at Molineux, you get in their faces.
That's exactly what he has to do when you're the home team. You have to set the tempo. You have to make sure that he knows this Liverpool team is a little bit fragile. So his first sort of talk to his players would be, you make sure you go and close the spaces down, you get in their faces, you win your first header, you have your first pass, you start on the front foot, and that gives the Wolves fans something to get behind.
Monday nights here on your home, the EFL Talksport 2 from 8 o'clock. We bring you every kick in the Championship of Blackburn against Wigan next week. FA Cup 4th round replay action Tuesday night, Sheffield United Wrexham. Wednesday night on Talksport 2, Sunderland Fulham from 7:45. Back on Talksport in the Premier League, exclusive commentary of Manchester United against Leeds. Looking at the form table, Wolves have a huge opportunity in front of them. Without a league win in 2023, will Liverpool's vulnerabilities be exposed once more? What do they say about a wounded animal being more dangerous, though? We'll wait and see. It's time to kick off at Molineux. We're only a few weeks into 2023, but Wolves and Liverpool are today set to face off for the 3rd time already this year. This is a day with serious significance. It's time for me to pass to our top commentary team in the Black Country. On the call again for Talksport to the former Arsenal title winner Perry Groves is alongside Ian Dancer.
Thank you, Dan, and a very good afternoon to you, wherever and however you're listening to TalkSport 2 on game day. Well, this curious tale of Liverpool's recent drop away from the top 4 and a resulting 10-point gap to a Champions League berth has been compounded by an early FA Cup exit last weekend at Brighton. Some felt that decision-making by match officials actually prevented an even earlier cup exit in round 3 at Anfield at the hands of today's opponents, Wolves. And a host of injury concerns continue for the visitors here. A host of new arrivals for Julen Lopetegui to integrate for the hosts as they bid to pull away from the relegation battle around them. Everton's lunchtime win against Arsenal has stuck Wolves back in the bottom 3 as we get underway today. Lopetegui has 3 wins, draws and losses so far since taking charge, and that includes a draw and a defeat to the Red Men. This afternoon he hands a debut to Craig Dawson, having recently arrived from West Ham United to play at centre-half as one of 4 changes from their last Premier League outing, a 3-0 defeat to Erling Haaland and Manchester City. Ryan Ait-Nouri, Pablo Sarabia and Matheus Cunha are the other players brought in. So Wolves line up with Jose Sarr in goal, Nelson Semedo, Craig Dawson, Max Kilman and Ryan Ait-Nouri as a back four. Mario Lemina, Ruben Neves and Matias Nunes are the three in midfield. And Mateus Cunha up front with Pablo Sarabia and Wang Hee-chan either side of him. The latest casualty for Jurgen Klopp is Ibrahima Konate at the back, leaving Joel Matip and Joe Gomez as the only fit first-team centre-halves to call upon. So naturally Matip comes back in for the first of two changes. The other sees Darwin Nunez prefer to Harvey Elliott in attack. Those are the two switches from the team that lost at the Amex Stadium last Sunday. So Alisson in goal for Liverpool. A back four of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joel Matip, Joe Gomez and Andrew Robertson. Thiago, Stefan Bajcetic and Naby Keita are the midfield three. Mo Salah, Darwin Nunez and Cody Gakpo up top. Players are out, the handshakes are being exchanged. Paul Tierney takes charge of this one as referee. And Perry Groves, it's been a while since Liverpool have truly taken charge of a football match, isn't it?
Yeah, because there's a lot of players who are lacking in confidence. Say we've mentioned before, Dance, about their intensity, which they've lost a little bit, and confidence can affect your intensity. You can lose that sort of little half yard. I'm just looking at this Liverpool side today. You mentioned Bajcetic. I think it's a lot for a young 18-year-old midfield player to play in that sort of holding midfield role for Liverpool. It'll be interesting to see how he goes, whether he's going to be one who dictates the play. And they're playing Hayo Silverline in here. Was it Jeff Beck?
The late, great Jeff Beck, which has been played here at Wolves and Sheffield Wednesday and Aston Villa down the years as a intro song. So he hated the song though. He called it a pink toilet seat around his neck, this song.
I bet he didn't send the royalties back, did he?
He never complained about the checks that arrived every 3 months, you're right. Let me run you through the subs as well here this afternoon at Molineux. Daniel Bentley has just arrived at Wolves, he's their sub-keeper. Nathan Collins, Raul Jimenez, Daniel Podence, Johnny, Jean Moutinho, who's on 199 Wolves appearances, he's on the bench. Adama Traore, Joseph Hodge and Hugo Bueno. The Liverpool bench, Caoimhin Kelleher is their sub-keeper. James Milner, Jordan Henderson, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Kostas Tsimikas, Fabio Carvalho and Nat Phillips. Mascots are exiting down the tunnel just down beneath us. We're sat in the front row of the top tier of the Billy Wright stand here at Molineux. Opposite us, the steeple stand, and right along that side of the pitch, the Liverpool fans are in that bottom tier. North Bank to our left, the South Bank to our right, the North Bank, the most recently upgraded facility at this famous old stadium. And they're making a right old racket here before kickoff. Live on Talksport 2 on game day. Already we've seen Everton beat Arsenal live on Talksport 2 at lunchtime, and Burnley here on Talksport 2 wallop Norwich at Carrow Road. A goalless draw between Rotherham and Sheffield United elsewhere in the Championship, and Newport have beaten Swindon by 2-1. I'll keep you in touch with goals as they go in around the country in the 3 o'clock kickoffs, including the 4 Premier League fixtures at Villa, Brentford, Brighton and Manchester United. But we're ready for the off, and Liverpool are attacking the South Stand away to our right in all red. Wolves in the old gold and black then attacking the North Bank in the first half. And Thiago works the ball into midfield for Bajcetic, and Joel Matip, back in the side today, works the ball back to his keeper Alisson in his light lilac goalkeeping strip this afternoon. Bajcetic pitch it up and drifts out towards the left-hand side and tries to release Gakpo down the Liverpool left, but just tidied up at the back by Craig Dawson on his debut for Wolverhampton Wanderers. 1 or 2 around us. Perry was saying that Nathan Collins is unlucky to be the one that misses out because of Dawson's arrival. Yeah,
we did think he might go straight in though, Craig Dawson, for his leadership qualities, gives him a bit of balance with the 2 centre-halves there, because obviously Max Kilman is naturally left-footed, so a better balance to this Wolves team. Just looking at the way Wolves have lined up, Dan, it's looking like that they might be in a 4-4-2, because obviously we knew that Cunha was going to play up front. It was like Sarabia going to play sort of up front alongside him as well, so that's just a bit of surprise in the formation.
Wolves try and win it back on the right hand side, on the far side of the field from us. Ruben Neves back to the edge of the penalty area. There is Kilman giving the ball back to his goalkeeper. Jose Sarr under pressure from Nunez, managed to get it clear and worked it up to Hwang, and he tries to release play down the right-hand side in Cunha, but he couldn't get there. It just drifted out of play, but Gomez was watching him all the way. Liverpool have a throw. Minute and a half gone on Talksport 2 in the Premier League. Wolves 0, Liverpool 0. Our third exclusive national radio commentary of the day on game day. Trent Alexander-Arnold rolls the ball into the centre of his own half. Bajcetic just keeps it away from Neves. Little touch from Gakpo. Tried to get Thiago into the game, but it's won back by Nelson Semedo. Charging forward down the Wolves' right. Gets to level with the area. Tries to pull it back to Cunha at the edge of the area. Little foot in. Got there in the nick of time from Gakpo. And Liverpool will try and clear their lines. Thiago works it back to Robertson in the left-back position. And he will chip the ball down the left-hand side, asking Nunez to get hold of it, but Dawson stepped in front of him and Wolves have it back. It's Cunha going to go for goal. It's patted out by Alisson. Fiercely struck shot by Mateus Cunha, and it was too hot for Alisson to handle. 0-0.
Yeah, when it comes into Nunez, he's got to do better and holding it up. Craig Dawson robs him, puts it into Cunha. Not one Liverpool player in the back four comes to close him down, Dan. So he's got 5 yards in front of him, gets the ball out of his feet with his right foot, just strikes through the ball. Gives Alisson a few problems. I actually think Alisson could have done a bit better there, Dance, because he's gone and get Alan Pat. He should be actually worse where he's out palming that to the side of his goal. He's just palmed it straight back down the middle.
Yeah, there was nobody anywhere near Alisson when he did pat it out, because the shot came from distance and everybody was at least at the edge of the penalty area, no deeper than that. So Wolves showing their intent to try and get behind Liverpool in these early stages. 3 minutes gone on Talksport 2, 0-0. Ball's floated downfield by Kilman, down the left looking for Ait-Nouri, but the ball drifts away from him and Alexander-Arnold can let the ball go out of play for a throw level with the edge of his own penalty area on this near side in front of the Billy Wright stand. Wolves did beat West Ham in their last Premier League fixture here by 1-0. Julian Lopetegui now firmly ensconced here. Well, they've won the ball back. Wolves from the Liverpool throw into the area. Hwang finds Cunha, drags it wide. In fact, it was Sarabia that had the final effort from inside the box, but he snatched at it and it went a good 2 or 3 yards wide of Alisson's right-hand post. 0-0.
Yeah, Wolves work it well from the left-hand side from their throw. And again, when it comes to Cunha, Joe Gomez is the nearest player to him. He actually drops off, Dance, by about 2 or 3 yards. He should be going towards the ball. When it comes to Sarabia, I think he should be going down to Alisson's left-hand side across him, and he's trying to give him the eyes and go into his near post and just miss it completely. But it's just in the Liverpool back four, even this early stage, after about 4 minutes, there's a hesitancy there. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're hesitating to come out and try and close the ball down.
A couple of early goals around the country. Grimsby lead at Crewe in League 2 by 1-0, John McAtee. And Milton Keynes are 1-0 up through a penalty at the Men. Bristol Rovers 0, Milton Keynes 1, Mo Isa. So goals starting to go in around the country. We'll keep you updated this afternoon on Talksport 2.
He's been saving his goals up, Isa.
You what, sorry?
Has he been saving his goals up?
Oh, he has. Oh, dear. I'll set him up, you knock him down. 0-0 at Molineux. 5 minutes gone. Ball floated into the Liverpool penalty area. Hwang brings it down. It's deflected off the post and in. Surely that went over the line. It did. And Hwang Hee-chan has given Wolves the lead on 5 minutes. Suddenly it broke to him right-hand side of the area. He got the shot in from a very tight angle. They tried to clear it off the line, but it went in off the post and just crawled over the line before Liverpool could clear it. What a start for Wolves. Wolves 1, Liverpool 0, and the Red Men are struggling again.
Yep, Wolves have been on the front foot, Dance, ever since kick-off. Just a little build-up on the right-hand side. Just a lovely little ball into Hwang Hee-chan again. Liverpool back forward, just back off. As Hwang Hee-chan gets to the byline, he tries to cross it back across 6-yard box, gets a wicked deflection off Joel Matip off his right thigh, goes along the goal line, in off the post to put Wolves 1-0 up.
Yeah, that's an own goal from Joel Matip. And Wolves have the advantage. They still can't score many goals themselves, but Liverpool have just given them a massive helping hand. On Talksport 2, 6 minutes gone. And the noise around Molineux is deafening. Bajcetic under pressure from Cunha, works the ball back to his keeper Alisson, who tried his best to keep that ball from crossing the line, but it kissed the inside of the post from the deflection off Matip and just crept over the line. Now Liverpool trying to respond. Lovely run from Naby Keita. The pass from Nunez was overhit, and Ait-Nouri came across and thumped it out of play before Alexander-Arnold could get on the scene. 1-0 Wolves. Throw in taken quickly by Alexander-Arnold, and Bajcetic works it back to Matip on halfway. Tried to slide a pass into Alexander-Arnold, but Matheus Nunez won it back, and he now plays a 1-2 with Ait-Nouri. The ball is back with Mario Lemina, former Southampton and Fulham midfielder, one of the players brought in by Julian Lopetegui in the January window. Dawson into Lemina. Slightly lazy ball clipped around the right hand side, and in fact it's bounced over Robertson and kept in play by Hwang. No, it's gone out. For one moment Hwang thought he was away and clear down the right hand side, but it's been flagged as a throw-in on the far side. In that huge game in League One this afternoon, the top two meeting at Hillsborough, and Sheffield Wednesday have the lead against Plymouth Argyle. Callum Patterson for the Owls. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Plymouth 0. Here come Liverpool, a goal down. Naby Keita, midway point of the Wolves half. Little dummy from Nunez, trying to get Salah in. Nunez went down off the ball, wanted a free kick. Referee Paul Tierney says nothing. Alexander-Arnold has it back. Plays a 1-2 with Naby Keita. Finds Keita again. They're combining well. Now Salah looking for Alexander-Arnold, right-hand corner of the box. Robbed off him by Ait-Nouri. And then Cunha. Oh, lovely feet from Cunha. Working the ball into the feet of Hwang. But Hwang's clearance is blocked by Thiago. And here come Liverpool. Robertson. Oh, he has his attempted pass blocked by Ruben Neves. And Neves trying to set Nelson Semedo away. Down the right-hand side. Neves wants it again. Inside the area. Out comes Alisson and claims well at the left-hand corner of his penalty box as Wolves stream forward again. 1-0 up.
A good play from Wolves down there. Right-hand side. Nunez getting himself the ball in that wide right area. Ruben Neves releasing himself, just trying to get beyond Liverpool's back four. To be fair to Bajcetic, he made sure that he was disciplined dance. He followed the run. Good starting position from Alisson to come out and smother the ball.
Manchester United lead Crystal Palace by a goal to nil. Bruno Fernandes from the penalty spot. Bristol City lead at Preston in the Championship. Mark Sykes, brilliant run they're on at the moment, Bristol City, including away from home where they're 5 unbeaten. And Pelly Rodican-Pansu's given Luton the lead at home to Stoke City in the Championship. Here in the Premier League, live on Talksport 2. We've played 9 minutes at Molineux. Wolves 1, Liverpool 0. An own goal early in the piece by Joel Matip after Hwang's pullback from the dead ball line, deflected off Matip, went in off the post, and Wolves have an early advantage here.
Just looking at Wolves, dance, it's Lemina who's been given the licence, played a deeper of the midfield for Wolves, just dropping in between the two centre halves, Dawson and Kilman, just trying to get the passing moves going, trying to get it into Ruben Neves.
Cunha collects it on halfway in a bit of space. Players running either side of him, has to hold the ball up for a moment, sends it back to Neves in the centre circle. First time ball for Ait-Nouri. Ait-Nouri spotted Sarabia making a run down the right hand side of the box, but the cross didn't find him. Matheus Nunez now plays the ball into Cunha. It's on the left hand side, the near side for Wolves. They work it back towards the halfway line via Lemina to Kilman. Square ball along the halfway line for Dawson. Dawson looks for Semedo down the far right hand side, faced up by Robertson. Checks his run for a moment, Semedo, midway point of the half. Then has to go back towards halfway. There was a little nibble at him by Gakpo, giving us a free kick by Paul Tierney. Exeter 0, Charlton 1. Jesron Raksaki gets another goal on loan from Crystal Palace to put Charlton in front. And Aston Villa lead Leicester at Villa Park. Ollie Watkins gives them the lead on 9 minutes at Villa Park. Just up the M6 here at Molineux, it's Wolves 1, Liverpool 0. Started very well. Wolves Lopetegui will be absolutely delighted with his team because they've been good in possession. They're releasing players forward, which has been a mark of his tenure here, because before Wolves weren't getting players into the 18-yard box, and Liverpool just look very nervous, don't they, when they're out of possession. There's just no shape to them defensively whatsoever. Neves whips a free kick in. Cunha will bring it down right-hand side of the area, gets to the byline, tries to float it in front of goal. It's deflected onto the chest and volleyed in. It's 2-0 on his debut. Craig Dawson. A former baggy becomes an instant Wolves hero and plunges Liverpool further into crisis, lashing it home from 8 yards out. After the initial header was cleared off the line, Craig Dawson put his foot through it, and hell, Wolves 2, Liverpool 0.
It's a great little ball from Cunha from the right byline. There's no communication between Alisson and Joe Gomez. Alisson catches it. Joe Gomez decides that he's going to head the ball away. As he heads it away, he comes straight to Kilman. Kilman heads it straight against the Liverpool defender. As it comes back out again, Craig Dawson just smashes it high into the roof of the net. Gives Alisson absolutely no chance. As said before, Dance, Liverpool defensively are all over the place. No one's taking any responsibility. Joe Gomez should be really leaving it for Alisson, so he heads it out, goes to Kilman, another ricochet, then Dawson smashes it in, 2-0 Wolves.
And we've only played 12 minutes. Craig Dawson, who scored 9 goals at West Ham in his time there before his deadline move to Molineux, and as I mentioned, a former Baggies player, made over 200 appearances for West Bromwich Albion from 2011 to 19. That's been quickly forgotten. He now has his first Wolves goal on his debut. Leicester have equalised at Villa. It's 1-1, James Maddison. And Salford lead Rochdale in the Greater Manchester derby of the Peninsula. Matt Smith gets Salford in front. Mario Lemina for Wolves, midway point of his own half. 2-0 to the old gold and black. Here's Ait Nouri sliding the ball up to Nunez on halfway. Sarabia releases Ait Nouri down the left-hand side. Gomez goes with him, does well, steps in front of Ait Nouri and guides it back to Alisson, who clears first time up to the halfway line. But Kilman wins the header against Darwin Nunez, and they've tidied it up again, Wolves, and the crowd are absolutely loving this.
Well, they can see their team, Dance, playing with intensity, playing with confidence. Lemina just dropping again into the back four, just trying to get the passing moves going. His passing range has been really good, spreads it from left to right, right to left, especially Wolves on their right hand side with Wang Hee-Chang and Semedo have been very, very dangerous.
Now Nunez inside the area for Liverpool. Early effort, good save by Sarr. Just tried an early effort, opened up his body and tried a right-footed curler from the left-hand side of the penalty box. And Jose Sarr got up a right hand and pushed it away. Good save, stays 2-0 Wolves.
Yeah, Darwin Nunez just in the left-hand corner of Wolves' penalty area, just gets it onto his right foot. He said Dance, he's trying to bend it high into Jose Sarr's left-hand corner. Really good save from Jose Sarr with a long right arm that just comes across, palms it away.
By Cecic with a cross, and Dawson hooks it out of play for a throw 10 yards from the dead ball line on this near side. The Liverpool right as they attack the South Bank in this first half. 2-0 down they are if you're just tuning in to Game Day, exclusive on Talksport 2. An own goal from Joel Matip and Craig Dawson on his Wolves debut. And now Wolves have a free kick as Salah was adjudged to have fouled his man at the edge of the penalty area. And it's all going Julian Lopetegui's way, and Jurgen Klopp stands impassive at the edge of his technical area, hands behind his back. He did that usual thing in the warm-up, not paying the slightest bit of attention to what his own players were doing, but keeping an eagle eye on Wolves' preparations. And based on this opening 15 minutes, Perry Groves, Wolves have prepared far better for this game.
Yep, they just look like they've got a better shape, Dance. The players look like they all know their jobs. So when Liverpool are out of possession, it's like trying to herd ferrets, basically, because they don't actually come back and get themselves into any team shape. There's no leadership in the back four. You expect your two centre-halves, Matip and Gomez, to take responsibility. Their default position, Dance, is when Wolves are attacking, even when they're probably 20-25 yards outside Liverpool's 18 goal, then they just drop off. All they do is drop off straight away. They invite you to take shots. They invite you to play little passes in behind them.
No play at the moment. Matis Cunha's just gone down holding his head. Just got caught in an aerial challenge. But look, can we just go back a bit? You said herding ferrets. I've heard of herding cats, but not herding ferrets.
Herding ferrets, because they're wilder.
That's a new one on me. Oh, wait a minute. Goal in the Championship. Swansea 0, Birmingham 1. Scott Hogan. Hold me, Perry. Huddersfield 0, QPR 1 as well in the Championship. Jamal Lowe gives QPR the lead, who haven't won in 7. Here come Liverpool coming forward at 2-0 down, but they can't find Gakpo left-hand side. It's tidied up by Semedo, tries to whack it downfield, but Robertson blocks it. It will break again for Gakpo, left-hand corner of the box. Out to Robinson, swirls an early cross in, defended by Dawson, and half cleared by Wolves, but the Red Men will have it back, and Gakpo has a bit of space to attack down the left-hand side. Clips it in from the byline, headed out by Lamina, only as far as Naby Keita, tries a drive, gets a second bite, blocked by Neves, not once but twice, and then anywhere will do for Wolves. It's like it's the 90th minute, not the 17th. 2-0 Wolves.
There's the difference. When Liverpool get down to the wide areas, the ball comes in and the ball comes out to Keita. As he gets his shot off, Ruben Neves find himself in front of the ball, Cunha find himself in front of the ball.
Yep.
So that is over my dead body defending, whereas at the other end over Liverpool that doesn't happen at all.
Sarabia's now down. I think he's been winded in a challenge, so he might need some treatment, although he's not asked for the trainer to come on. He's just going to get up very slowly. You're listening to Wolves 2, Liverpool 0 on Talksport 2 with Now Sports. Don't forget that with Now Sports you can stream all the Sky Sports action, like Newcastle against West Ham United, live today for £11.99. No contract, just search Now Sports. Ian Danter and Perry Groves with you at Molineux. We played 17 and a half minutes on Talksport 2 on Game Day exclusive. Wolves 2-0 up on beleaguered Liverpool here at Molineux, who are a little punch drunk by the way that Wolves have gone about their business in this opening quarter. Ball worked back to Joel Matip and Joe Gomez. Van Dijk back in training for Liverpool, but won't be ready for a couple of weeks yet. So too Firmino. Here's Salah on his 200th Premier League appearance. Finds Alexander-Arnold, swirls an early cross in. Good claim at the far post by Jose Sarr. Gakpo was the closest to him, but in the end a relatively comfortable claim for the Portuguese keeper. 2-0 Wolves.
Yeah, just like crossing practice there for Jose Sarr. Alexander-Arnold normally from that right back position has good quality into the box, just overhit it a little bit. Very simple collect there from Jose Sarr.
Exeter 0, Charlton 2 in League One. Second for the Addicts from Corey Taylor. Liverpool coming forward at 2-0 down, looking to fire the ball to the edge of the area for Salah, but headed away by Ait Nouri coming across from fullback. Ball's back just inside the Liverpool half with Robertson. Good turn, and he strides purposefully downfield. Andrew Robertson tried to float an early ball into the box. It ricocheted off Nelson Semedo's head, and then it's just hooked up to halfway by Ait Nouri. Cunha fighting for possession with Bajcetic, but the youngster does well for Liverpool. Alexander-Arnold gives it back to Bajcetic. Early ball out to Robertson, who's in a bit of space left-hand side, just over the halfway line. Works the ball in field to Thiago, who's really not had any time on the ball to do what Thiago normally does so well. Matip bringing the ball forward into the edge of the area. Keita goes down, Salah goes for goal and hooks it over the bar. Well placed inside the area, right-hand side, just lifted it about 2 yards over the crossbar on the end. Mo Salah. Goal kick to Wolves. We're approaching the 20-minute mark on Talksport 2, and Wolves lead 2-0.
Yeah, it's a really strong run from Joel Matip. Just bringing the ball out from the back, going down that right-hand channel, just feeding it into Naby Keita, and made a run into the penalty area. Then he lays it back to Mo Salah as it comes on his left foot. Again, he's just trying to bend it inside Jose Sarr's far right-hand post. Just gets a little bit underneath it, goes out for goal kick.
125 Premier League goals for Mo Salah, 3 behind the club record of Robbie Fowler in the Premier League era, and that's his best chance so far to get closer to that tally. So 20 minutes gone on Talksport 2. 2-0 to Wolves if you're just tuning in, wherever you are this Saturday afternoon on Game Day. Everton beating Arsenal at lunchtime by 1-0. So one half of Merseyside's cheering, the other is struggling, because here come Wolves again with Semedo, laying it back to Ruben Neves. A swirling ball deep to the far post, brought down by Núñez. Núñez goes for the byline, pulls it back to the near post, flicked away by Gomez, drops at the edge of the area. Salah hooks it clear for Darwin Núñez. He's under pressure from Kilman immediately, and then Lamina slides into the centre circle to get ahead of Salah, and Wolves have it back.
That's Wolves getting to the second ball first again. Ball comes up to Núñez. He doesn't get hold of it. Max Kilman just whips it off his toe. Then it comes into Mo Salah. Lamina then slides in. So Wolves have been first to every knockdown, every 50-50. And even then, it was a fantastic ball from Semedo into Neves. Neves just switches the play over to the left-hand side to Sarabia. Then he puts it on again onto Núñez. Great touch out of the air, Dance. And then Alexander-Arnold doesn't get close enough. He just stands off of him, and then Núñez just goes on the outside of him and gets his crossing.
Neves drives it out to Matheus Núñez again for Wolves. Left-hand corner of the penalty area. Now Ait Nouri takes over. He's got Alexander-Arnold and Keita in hot pursuit. So the ball's worked back to Lemina on halfway. Ait Nouri then goes back into his own half. Stockport lead Tranmere in League 2. Kyle Noyle with the opener for Stockport at Edgeley Park. Here at Molineux, 21 minutes gone. Wolves 2, Liverpool 0. Lemina in the centre circle, strokes it left for Ait Nouri, just over the halfway line, closed down by Salah. Ball in field from Núñez, intercepted by Naby Keita. Now Keita again, lovely little pirouette, but then he runs into Cunha, brings him down, and that's been given us a free kick for an earlier infringement, so Liverpool do get the free kick for the earlier challenge and can get the ball out their own half. 2-0 down they are. Again,
it's an example of Wolves' work rate there, because Naby Keita obviously had the ball in the centre midfield area. The first player to engage him was Cunha. Obviously, he's playing up front as a centre forward. He makes sure that he gets back, does a job for his team. Just a little trip, quite rightly. Fortini, the referee, gives a free kick. But it's just the work ethic from Wolves, Dance, isn't it? It's been very, very impressive.
Here's Joe Gomez for Liverpool. Up to the halfway line, strokes it out to the left-hand touchline on the far side of the field from us for Andrew Robertson, with Liverpool attacking the south stand at Molineux in this first half. Away to our right, Matip again, bringing the ball forward to the midway point of the half. Comes out to this near side to Alexander-Arnold. He pops it back in field for Bajcetic. Now back to Gomez at the edge of the centre circle. Wolves very deep, everybody behind the ball, as Thiago then sends it out left to Robertson, almost level with the penalty area. Goes in field to Bajcetic. Little first touch to get Darwin Núñez into the game. Almost taken off his toe by Cunha. But Matip has it back. Rolls it up to Keita at the edge of the D. Turns and shoots and drags it wide. Goal kick to Wolverhampton Wanderers. We're midway through the first half on Talksport 2. You're listening to Wolves 2, Liverpool 0 on Talksport 2 with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. Alongside me in the commentary box, Perry Groves.
Yeah, when Liverpool in possession, young lad Bajcetic is the one who plays a little bit deeper, Dance, plays that sort of anchor role. That frees up Naby Keita to get himself up alongside Darwin Núñez, obviously playing as a centre forward for Liverpool. They're just trying to feed it into Keita's feet, but a couple of times he's just had a heavy touch. When it come to him there, he didn't really have the courage and convictions to swivel it with his left foot and just snap hooked it wide.
Here is Darwin Núñez down the left-hand side for Liverpool, into the area, tries to pull it back and gets way underneath the cross. And the way you could hear us from the Wolves fans to our right in the South Bank, watching that sail over the crossbar for a goal kick.
That was a definite mind the winners there, wasn't it, from Darwin Núñez? So just trying to get himself to the byline, can't quite wrap his left foot around it. I think Liverpool actually shell-shocked, Dan, so we're looking at their body language. Surely they must have expected Wolves to come out the traps, and get about them and like close them down. But the impressive thing with Wolves is when they've been in possession. They've said before, like Lemina's dropping that a little bit deeper, just trying to get his passing moves going. Ruben Neves a little bit further in front of him.
Well, you would never expect Ruben Neves to be lax in possession. Actually, the player that's impressed me so far is Lemina, who's looked very neat and tidy.
Yep.
In that midfield. Liverpool have got to get cracking. Neves steps in field to keep the ball away from Gakpo. Lincoln lead at Accrington in League One. Ben House and Swansea equalise against Birmingham. Of course they do. Joel Pirro makes it 1-1 at the Swansea.com stadium. Here at Molineux, it's 2-0 to Wolves against Liverpool. 25 gone.
It's give you a bit of hope though, doesn't it?
At least we've scored.
Exactly.
Normally we don't even win a corner.
Is that open top bus time?
Yeah, practically. Practically. Now Dawson, who scored Wolves' second, intercepts a through ball intended by Thiago, and Ait Nouri clips it downfield. And Núñez is giving chase. Oh, he's got the better of Matip. Hits against Alisson. Breaks at the edge of there for Sarabia. Back to play. Back heels it for Cunha, but he couldn't get the shot away. He was being pressurised by Liverpool defenders. And very nearly 3-0 because Joel Matip allowed Matheus Núñez to get in behind him.
That sums Liverpool up, Dance, because as the ball gets played over top of Joel Matip, he's 3 or 4 yards in front of Núñez. So all he's got to do is make sure he gets to the ball first, puts it back to Alisson, he dawdles, and that allows Núñez just to nip in front of him, takes the ball off him, and to be fair, Núñez should be scoring down. He's 1v1 with Alisson, didn't really make up his mind, and then Alisson stayed nice and big, spread himself, end up saving it, but Wolves should be 3-0 up.
Robertson with the cross, it breaks away from Núñez, comes to Alexander-Arnold, right-hand side, fires it over the bar, another wasteful effort from Liverpool. Relatively tight angle for Trent Alexander-Arnold, but again he got right underneath it, sails over the crossbar. Cambridge 1, Ipswich 0. In League One, Ipswich in third, second best away form in the league, but Harvey Nibbs has given Cambridge the lead. It's kind of a local derby, isn't it, that?
It's an East Anglian derby.
It
I'll
counts.
give you that one.
2-0 here to Wolves. On Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2. What a header from Matheus Núñez out on the left wing. It got all the way in field to Sarabia, but then he loses out on halfway. Salah tried to clip it in field. There was Lamina again to prevent that slide rule pass getting through to the next line of Liverpool players. Semedo now brings it away. Down the right-hand side, gets up to halfway, looks for Ruben Neves. Got a shout of man on from a few Wolves fans over on that far side in the top tier of the Steve Bull. And the ball's back with Jose Sarr. Lamina immediately turns it round the corner for Craig Dawson. Back again for Jose Sarr. And he spots Ait Nouri, who's got plenty of space to receive the ball and work it back to Max Kilman. Square ball for Dawson. Bit of silence falls over Molineux for the first time in an awfully long time, because the home fans have been making a right racket since the get-go. And why shouldn't they when they're 2-0 up?
Just think they want to get their second wind dance, don't they? From what they've seen their team have been flying out the traps.
Well, here's Hwang making runs down the right-hand side, getting away from Robertson, trying to get away from Gomez, and fires it against Gomez and wins Wolves a corner at the North Bank end. 2-0, they're flying.
Yeah, nice little ball from Semedo down that right-hand channel for Hwang Hee-Chang. Said there, 1v1 with Gomez, shows a great turn of pace, gets himself to the byline. In the end, it was a good block from Gomez for a corner for Wolves over on their right-hand side. First
Corner of the game. And Sarabia has gone across to take it, bidding Ruben Neves to move away. Kilman and Dawson and also Cunha around the penalty spot. It's worked back to Neves just outside the area, right footed ball to the far post. Dawson again gets underneath the header and it's over the bar. Great chance for a third, unmarked from a deep cross from Neves, but he got underneath the header and Liverpool end up with a goal kick, and they're still only 2-0 down.
Yeah, looking at Dance, I think VAR might have given Dawson offside, but again, Liverpool don't go and close the ball down. Short corner from their right-hand side. Neves sweeps across him. Joel Matip, which is ball watching. Ball goes completely over his head. He doesn't even know that Dawson's on the back of him. So Liverpool hasn't actually played a high line there and come out. They've just not marked any of the Wolves players. They're so disjointed at the back backs. And we said earlier, there's a combination of reasons that Liverpool are struggling at the minute. From lack of energy in the midfield areas, not closing down properly. But we see there, at the back four, there is no defensive shape whatsoever. You can tell they haven't worked as a back four because they're used to pushing their fullbacks up high, and attacking the opposition. There's no shape at all. Right.
I would argue that's because there isn't a leader out of Matip and Gomez at the back to take charge the way Van Dijk would. In the sense that who's running that back four?
Nobody. No, they're not. But even then, you should be able to have a default position of your positional play when you're out of possession, where you come a little bit tighter together. Where if you're left back, Robertson goes and close ball down, everybody sort of shifts across. But they're all playing as four individuals. That back four hasn't been coached. When they're overloaded, when you're 6v4 or 5v4. They just play individually.
Half an hour gone on Talksport 2. Wolves turning it up and coming forward again. Right-hand edge of the box with Cunha. Weak drive, very easy claim for Alisson at the edge of his 6-yard box. So 15 minutes to half-time. Watford lead at Reading in the Championship. Ismaila Sarr has given Watford the lead on the half hour. And Bradford lead Mansfield in League 2. Andy Cook, no winning 3 for the Bantams before today. Ball's back with Matip at the edge of his own penalty area. Just steps infield to get away from Cunha and finds Thiago. Thiago looks early down the left-hand side for Robertson, who's pushed forward. Nunez calling for it at the left-hand corner of the penalty area. But instead, Robertson goes infield to Bajcetic. Now Matip takes over. Ball just runs away from him, but picked up by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Bajcetic again plays a 1-2 with Alexander-Arnold. Gomez at the edge of the centre circle. Squares it to his right for Matip, who strides forward to the centre of the half. Plays it into the feet of Alexander-Arnold 5 yards in front of him. Now Keita on this near touchline, with Liverpool attacking the south stand away to our right in this first half. All in red. Keita takes the ball on his chest. It breaks for Alexander-Arnold. He whips across him, but there was a foul on a Wolves player beforehand by Naby Keita. And so it ends up being a free kick with the foul on Lamina. In the Championship, Millwall take the lead against Sunderland. George Honeyman, a former Sunderland player, giving them the lead. Oh, there you go. Swansea 2, Birmingham 1. Liam Cullen.
You knew it was coming.
I did.
Well, you've had how many years of being a Birmingham fan? Building you up, knocking you down?
Well, 50 odd. Since I've known what it was about to be disappointed. Elsewhere in the Championship, Middlesbrough have just taken the lead against Blackpool. And it's Chuba Akpom with his 15th of the season for the Borough. What a season he's having.
Well, they won the last 4 at home on the spin. Middlesbrough in the Championship.
Well, that's Michael Carrick certainly working the oracle there. And Jurgen Klopp has got to find some way to work the oracle here for his Liverpool side at Molineux, because they're 2 goals down. And I can't think of than Jose Sarr's save from Darwin Nunez that he's had a close range, gilt-edged opportunity to have to keep out of the net. Here is Semedo for Wolves, the right back, lofting it up to the halfway line, headed back into the Wolves half by Gomez, and then slightly lazy pass from Robertson, picked off on halfway, and Ruben Neves thought about hitting a long ball downfield, but then just calmed it down and played it backwards to square to Kilman. Now picked up by Matheus Nunes. Ait Nouri on this left-hand side. Aston Villa 2, Leicester 1, an own goal from Harry Souttar on debut for Leicester. Gives Villa the lead at Villa Park. Here is Lamina for Wolves, 2-0 up. Cunha can't win it, and Liverpool try and win it back, and there's a chase on for Alexander-Arnold back to his right-back position, and he only clears it as far as Matheus Nunes, and he turns away neatly from Salah and Keita like they weren't there, and here's Ait Nouri again.
There's a difference as well. Lamina gives the ball away, and he runs a full 35, 40 yards. You can hear the Wolves crowd get behind him. Alexander-Arnold thinks he's got load of time right back position. Lamina goes and closes him down. He actually snap hooks at Alexander-Arnold, goes straight to Ait Nouri, but that's all because Lamina has got the wherewithal and the desire to go and run 35, 40 yards to put the opposition under pressure, whereas that's not happening with Liverpool.
Exeter 1, Charlton 2. Exeter get one back through Dimitri Mitchell. Grimsby 2-0 up at Crewe. George Lloyd 2-0 here to Wolves against Liverpool. And for the latest odds, head to 888 Sport, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Wolves to win at 3-10, the draw at 4-1. If you fancy Liverpool for a comeback victory at this point, that is priced at 7-1. That's all thanks to 888 Sport. Made to challenge, made to debate, made to play. 18 plus, and the website that you need is begambleaware.org. Perry Groves and Ian Danter with you at Molineux. Just over 10 minutes to the break on Game Day exclusive. Liverpool are up against it, and then some. Wolves 2, Liverpool 0. Kilman clears the ball downfield from his own dead ball line, but it's headed back by Joel Matip for Bajcetic, who did well to keep the ball away from Cunha. Worked out to Andy Robertson. Robertson goes down under pressure from Hwang, and that's a free kick to Liverpool, midway point of the Wolves half down the left-hand side. 2-0 to the old gold and black. Perry Groves.
Yeah, it was a cute foul there from Hwang, because Robertson looked like he got away from down that left-hand side. Hwang just made sure that he stepped across him, just sort of slowed, obviously, the Liverpool attack down, gives his Wolves players to get themselves a chance to get back and defend the 18-yard line, where 7 of the Wolves players just lined up right along the 18-yard box, trying to keep a high line. And Jose Sarr, again, he's quite high for the goalkeeper on the 6-yard box. Right
or left-footed delivery possible. Robertson and Alexander-Arnold standing over it. It's Robertson who hits the kick in. Matip heads it down, actually headed it away from goal, probably hoping he could cushion a header down for somebody at the edge of the area, but there's only a Wolves player there to hook it clear. And Liverpool have it back on halfway once again with Andy Robertson. Backwards the square it goes to Gomez, then further across to Thiago, who's dropped a little deeper. He finds Naby Keita on this near side, the Liverpool right. Earling ball infield to Salah, but Salah immediately set upon by Ruben Neves, and Wolves won it back. And then an attempted ball downfield from Sarabia, intercepted by Keita. He wanted a foul, Sarabia. Nothing doing, says Paul Tierney. Robertson again for Liverpool, just over halfway on the left-hand side. Finds Cody Gakpo, drifting infield from the left-hand touchline, rolls his foot on the ball, keeps it away from Cunha, then has to go back to Gomez, just ahead of the centre circle. Matic to his right. Drives the ball into the edge of the area, come to be claimed by Lamina. And then Sarabia, he loses out, trying to be a bit clever on this near touchline, Pablo Sarabia. And now Naby Keita looks for Alexander Arnold, but he has the ball taken off his toe by another strong challenge from Mario Lamina. Keita thinks that should be a free kick. The referee is impassive. 2-0 Wolves.
No, just a really strong challenge there from Mario Lamina. He's been one of Wolves' outstanding players in this first half, dropping off deep, dictating the play, closing the opposition down.
Now Neves takes the ball away from Keita, tries to play it out to the halfway line, it deflects off Wang, but Cunha tries to look for Semedo down the right-hand side. One back for Liverpool by Robertson, ball through the legs of a Wolves player, but there's Lamina again, first in to put it downfield. Lopetegui asks his players to move up to the halfway line and shrink the size of the pitch, as it were. Notts County lead at Torquay in the National League as they bid for that automatic promotion spot ahead of Wrexham, and it's Macaulay Langstaff who's given Notts the lead at Plainmoor. Free kick to Liverpool out on the left-hand side with 7 minutes or so to play until half-time on Talksport 2. Wolves 2-0 up, but a free kick to defend here at the South Bank end.
Yeah, good spin from Cody Gakpo, close to that left-hand touchline. Just has a little drag back, gets away from Wang. Wang's got to be careful, Dance. That's his second foul in space of a couple of minutes. And it's his second deliberate foul as well, because he knew full well that Gakpo was going to get himself to the byline, so he just tripped him up, gave away a free kick. Again, it's Wolves with their 7 defenders right along the 18-yard line, keeping a high line.
Once again, it's Robertson to swing the free kick in from the left-hand side. Cleared away at the near post by the first defender, Semedo. And now Matheus Nunes for Wolves drifts out to the right-hand side and he's trying to release Wang over the halfway line. He was caught late, actually. He released the ball. Matheus Nunes, Paul Tierney's given a free kick to Wolverhampton Wanderers, and Wang, I think, might have done his hamstring. Yeah, he was just trying to get himself behind Andy Robertson when he set off on his sprint. He pulled up after about 4 or 5 strides, Dance, didn't he? And obviously he's signalled to the bench that he's going to have to be substituted because he's definitely pulled his hamstring. Well, I wonder whether that means Adama Traore comes on to play in that position because Wang is playing on the right of a front three, and that is a natural position for Adama Traore to play.
Exactly what Andy Robertson needs. When his team's under pressure, there's no defensive shape. We need a flyer like that, like Traore coming on.
Well, let's see what Julian Lopetegui does. A reminder, as you're listening to Talksport 2, we've brought you lots of Super Bowl, American football coverage during the course of the season, and the Super Bowl next weekend, Sunday night on Talksport, our sister station. The Eagles against the Chiefs, live from Arizona, so you can join Will Gavin and the NFL team next Sunday night at 11 p.m. over on Talksport for Super Bowl 57. Even I wasn't around when you had Super Bowl 1.
You sure?
I'm absolutely certain. No action here because Wang is still flat on his back getting treatment, but I don't perceive for one moment he's going to be able to continue. Just a reminder of the goals elsewhere. Earlier today, Everton beat Arsenal by a goal to 0. Sorry, I had to say it, Perry. Burnley won 3-0 at
That's
Norwich.
Old news now.
Burnley won 3-0 at Norwich, live on Talksport 2. The Everton win was live on Talksport. Rotherham United and Sheffield United shared a goalless draw in the Yorkshire Derby. And Newport beat Swindon by 2-1. And it is indeed Adama Traore who's going to be brought on for Hwang Hee-chan, who cannot continue. So presumably they've got the old cooking oil on his arms. He is cut, I think is the word.
Ripped.
Perry Groves. He is ripped.
He's ripped. And apparently he doesn't go to the gym. It's all natural.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the phrase is chinny wreck on, isn't it? Or Jimmy Hill.
Is that why you're rubbing your chin as we speak?
2-2 at Villa Park. Kelechi Iheanacho adding Premier League goals to his FA Cup goal tally. 2-2 there in that Premier League game. Manchester United 1-0 up on Palace. No goals, Brentford, Southampton or Brighton, Bournemouth. But we're about to get back underway here, so there'll be a couple of minutes of added time at least at the end of this first half on Talksport 2. If you're just tuning in, Wolves 2, Liverpool 0. An own goal from Joel Matip very, very early in the piece. And that's been followed up by Craig Dawson on 12 minutes on debut, lashing the ball home when Liverpool couldn't clear a ball into the box. And here come Wolves again as play restarts, looking for Adama Traore to get involved, but he can't play a 1-2 with Cunha. And the ball's out of play for a Liverpool throw. How badly, Perry Groves, do Liverpool need a goal before half-time? Is that absolutely critical at this point, or can Klopp reorganise things at 2-0 down?
Well, I'm just looking at the Liverpool side. We're talking about Bajcetic, young 18-year-old midfield player playing in that holding midfield role. He's not getting any help from anybody around him. I can't remember Thiago being an influence. Naby Keita trying to get himself forward up alongside Darwin Núñez. But so the young lad in midfield, I actually feel a bit sorry for him, Dance, because he's getting no help. You know, he's quitting himself quite well. His passing's been good. But I think that is crying out for Jordan Henderson to come on and play in that holding midfield role and just sit there and just try and get a bit of stability to this Liverpool side, because there isn't any at the moment.
Again, there's a break in play because two Wolves players went down in aerial challenges. First, Ruben Neves, who's picked himself back up, but Mario Lemina also got caught in an aerial challenge. And he's down hurt. Just got caught when he got barged into by Thiago in his ribs.
Yeah, I think he just landed heavily. So it was just a coming together with Thiago and Lemina.
I mentioned there were no goals at the GTEC Community Stadium. That's changed. Ben Mee has put Brentford 1 up on Southampton. And that's a good scoreline for Wolves here. You've got to remember, it's the Liverpool situation is absolutely fascinating, but you've got to remember Wolves, who dropped into the bottom three before kick-off because of that Everton win against Arsenal, live on Talksport at lunchtime. Julian Lopetegui wants his players to get themselves away from trouble, and with Southampton losing, that does not help, of course, Nathan Jones, who were bottom at the start of play.
Just looking at table, Dance, Wolves move up to 14th. It just shows you how tight it is.
Yep, West Ham not playing until tea time. Leeds don't play till tomorrow. Leicester currently 2-2 at Villa. And Hwang has now just made it around to the tunnel. He just gets a little hug from his manager, Julian Lopetegui, before he makes his way down the tunnel. Incidentally, all the managers and players today are wearing green armbands today. This is all about one pack, one planet. Green Football Weekend, raising awareness of the fight against climate change and the need to be more sustainable. I'm sure you can check your own football club's website for more details on that. Ball's back with Jose Sars. We're back underway once again, approaching half-time, but there will be a good 3 or 4 minutes to add on at the end of this first half. Wolves 2-0 up. They couldn't clear the ball downfield properly, but it did ricochet back into the grateful arms of Jose Sarr.
Yeah, it's just about game management now from Wolves, making sure they get in at half-time, 2-0 up, still trying to play out from the back. Kilman and Dawson are still spreading, but giving the ball unnecessarily.
Gomez heads it forward. Núñez tried a shot at goal, but he was offside. The flag went up very, very quickly on this near side. 4 minutes of minimum stoppage time that we're into now. Brentford have just added a second against Southampton. Brian and Mbeumo making it 2-0. And Derby, who are in brilliant form in the league, of course they lost in the FA Cup on Monday night, they lead Morecambe by a goal to 0. David McGoldrick gets their goal. What have you spotted, Perry Groves?
Just Jurgen Klopp is normally quite demonstrative, isn't he? And his touchline, his technical area, he's just gone and sat back down in the dugout basically with his arms crossed. He had a massive sigh of sort of frustration, and when he blows your cheeks out to say, actually, I can't believe what I'm seeing here. Can't believe this is my team.
When we use the word slumped in his chair?
Yeah. just something with a sort of air of resignation on his face. Normally he's up and he like cajoling his team, getting them like to push further up the pitch or getting them to close down, ask them to be a bit quick when they're passing. There's actually nothing. There's no messages coming from Liverpool's bench at all.
2-0 to Wolves in added time at the end of the first half. Naby Keita hits the ball against Lemina, but the ball breaks on halfway for Bajcetic, who moves into the Wolves half, hits a diagonal ball looking for Mo Salah. Salah can bring it down 25 yards out, almost at the right hand corner of the box, lays it off to Alexander-Arnold, but his cross goes over the head of Cody Gakpo. Robertson did brilliantly to keep it in play on the far side, works it back to the edge of the area. Thiago tried to get a piece of it, and then there was a foul on Sarabia as Wolves tried to clear their lines, and the home side get a free kick. 2-0.
Yes, Sarabia just coming back to help out his midfield. When the ball comes out to Bajcetic, he takes a touch and Sarabia basically just nicks it off his toe, gets tripped up, takes the pressure off his back four. Jose Sá will now just take his time, just going to smash the ball further up the pitch.
Well, we played a couple of minutes of the minimum 4 that have been added on by Paul Tierney at the end of this first half on Talksport 2. 2-0 to Wolves. The ball is floated back to Alisson, who can bring the ball down, clears under pressure from Cunha, out to Robertson, left-hand side, level with the edge of his own penalty area. Hits it up to halfway. Nunez, well, he took it on his chest, but he couldn't bring it down, and it just deflected out of play for a Wolves throw on the far side. 2-0.
Wolves have done that really well, Dawson and Kilman, because Nunez is playing up front, obviously on his own. He's got Mo Salah to the right of him and Cody Gakpo to the left, who's been pretty ineffective. When it comes into Darwin Nunez, the two Wolves centre-halves, they know that one of them can go and put him under pressure, and he hasn't been able to hold the ball up.
Ait Nouri picks up a ball floated across to him on this left-hand side by Neves, taking on Salah, gets away from Salah and Alexander-Arnold. Ait Nouri poking the ball into the area, trying to play a 1-2, comes back to Matheus Nunes down the left-hand side. He's got a hold of Alexander-Arnold's shirt. Alexander-Arnold clears only as far as Lemina, heads it infield. Keita nods it up to the halfway line, and then Darwin Nunez is taken out by Craig Dawson. That's got to be a yellow card for the man making his debut and the scorer of Wolves' second goal, and rightly it is a yellow card. Pretty crude challenge from Craig Dawson to earn a yellow card.
Yeah, very cynical from Craig Dawson. Darwin Nunez just heads the ball past him. Craig Dawson knows that his team need to get in at half-time 2-0 up, so takes no prisoners, puts his hands up to say, no, I didn't mean it, but trust me, he did, because he got him with his right foot and then he got him with his elbow as well. But they've managed this last sort of 8 minutes fairly well, Wolves, because they haven't tried to overplay at the back. They've got the ball forward nice and early and just trying to play off of Cunha and Sarabia.
Now Nunez trying to make a nuisance of themselves up against Dawson. And then the half-time whistle blows from Paul Tierney, and you can hear the applause ringing around this famous old stadium, because Wolverhampton Wanderers are giving Liverpool the away day blues once again. Liverpool have lost 8 after the last 15 away trips in all competitions. This could well be 9 in 16, because Wolves were 2-0 up inside the quarter hour mark. First, Hwang was played in right-hand side of the area in the 4th minute, squared the ball back from the byline. It ricocheted off the thigh of Joel Matip across the face of goal, kissed the inside of the post and went over the line before Liverpool could clear. The goal decision system ruled in Wolves' favour. And then Craig Dawson, on his debut for Wolves, lashed home from about 8 yards out after a cross from the right-hand side and a header goalwards was only half cleared by the Liverpool defence. Only one meaningful save that Jose Sá had to make from Darwin Nunez in that first half. Liverpool have got so much work to do, and Wolves have bossed it. Half-time at Molineux, Wolves 2, Liverpool 0.
Danta, thank you. A season spiralling out of control, drifting towards nothingness, a crisis for Liverpool, lacking leaders. Jordan Henderson and James Milner sat on their bench, I should mention, lacking quality, lacking fight, immediately on the ropes. Wolves' pressure paying off, an own goal first by Matip, then Craig Dawson, a debut goal. The Reds just struggling to get out. Wolves outpassed them first half at Molineux. What does that tell you? Defensively, Perry Groves, Jurgen Klopp's side a shambles, all over the place.
They are a shambles. They're all over the place individually. They're all over the place collectively. As you said there's no leaders. There's no one trying to take command and take control. And when you're playing against Liverpool now, you can sniff it, Dan. You can actually sense that they're not all together.
Well, they stink.
You can sense
they stink.
Exactly. They're just off it. And the 2 goals, if you see when Hwang Hee-chan gets down to the byline, nobody goes with him. Then he gets his crossing. Joel Matip is sort of a half-hearted challenge, comes off the inside of his thigh, then comes off the inside of the post to put Wolves 1-0 up. But it's the second goal which we more of a worry, because Acuna cross again from that right byline. If there's communication between Gomez and Alisson, it's not a problem. Alisson just takes it. Gomez heads it out. Kilman gets the first ball. Again, it gets a ricochet off Cody Gakpo, and Craig Dawson just smashes it high past Alisson, gives him no chance. So that actually epitomises the disarray that's in this Liverpool back four and the team as a whole.
Stat I've seen: already conceded more goals Liverpool in the Premier League this season, 27 in 20 games, than they did in the whole of last season. They conceded 20 goals last season, 26 goals, last season, 27 already this campaign. First balls, second balls, Liverpool nowhere to be seen, Perry.
No, there's a lack of fight, there's a lack of energy. I think they've been surprised because Wolves have set themselves out in a 4-4-2 formation, and it's Mario Lemina and Ruben Neves are absolutely bossing that midfield area. Mario Lemina's dropping deep, to get the passing movements ticking over. Ruben Neves is just in front of him, and then he's just trying to get, when Hwang Hee-chan was on the pitch on the right-hand side, then you've got Saliba who's playing up front with Cunha, Nunes on the left-hand side. So in every little area, Wolves have been totally dominant. And when they're out of possession, they're closing down. Their work ethic is far more than Liverpool's. And I mentioned in commentary, Dan, that normally Jurgen Klopp is very animated, isn't he, on the touchline? He just went and sat down with like 10, 12 minutes to go. Yes, he looks like he's sort of
beaten.
Shocked by it all, probably like rabbit in the headlights. He has to make changes at half time.
How do Liverpool fans respond to that, seeing Jurgen Klopp, the leader, resigns? It looked like, to me, to you, resigned to defeat already at Molineux.
Well, you'd like to think that he was surveying the scene, which was a complete debacle, to be fair, Dan, wasn't it? And just trying to think of ways that he can get his team back into this game. And you mentioned there, he needs some leaders on that pitch. So I'd be amazed if Jordan Henderson doesn't come on, because Bajcetic, the young 18-year-old midfield player, he's done okay, but he's had no help around him. I mean, you think he's got senior players who are like Naby Keita, he's got Thiago. Thiago's been ineffective. Naby Keita's trying to get himself up alongside Darwin Núñez, so he's vacating that midfield area, and it's just giving Wolves the licence to play. I can't believe that Liverpool have been this bad.
Yeah, Liverpool dangerously average. Wolves, though, full credit to them, Perry. They're in a fight, Julian Lopetegui's side. They have used the time since their last game so very effectively. 6 January editions, a number of them playing a large part this afternoon. They look so well drilled.
Very well drilled. To say it's a surprise, we thought they'd go 4-3-3, but Sarabia up front with Cunha, and then when they're out of position, those two just drop a little bit deeper. The midfield four come nice and narrow. When it was Hwang Hee-chan on that right-hand side and Matheus Nunes on the left, they come very narrow. And defensively, they're very difficult to break down. But when they're in possession, then you can tell that Lopetegui has asked them to play forward very, very quickly. Not just, lumping it up to the front two, but trying to get in the channels, trying to get into their feet. So it's been a very, very impressive first half from Wolverhampton Wanderers. They just look hungry, Dan. They just look like they want it a little bit more. I think that's the worst thing you can say to this Liverpool fans and to the Liverpool team, that the other team actually is working hard on what you are. That's what that's come down to.
Wolves ravenous, Liverpool so very average. Back with Ian Dan to Perry Grove shortly. 2-0 Wolves lead at home in the Premier League over Liverpool. Second half to come shortly here on Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2. Let's look ahead to tonight's Premier League action with Now Sports.
Stay ahead of the game on Talksport 2 with Now Sports. Stream all the Sky Sports action like Newcastle versus West Ham live today for $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports 18+, stream via internet, terms apply.
High-flying Newcastle, they welcome West Ham to St James's Park this evening in the Premier League. It's a 5:30 start. Watching for the Talksport Network, our reporter on time. Steve Harmison. Afternoon, Steve.
Afternoon, Dan.
I mean, they've got to go again, Newcastle, after an amazing cup night against Southampton. Few sore heads the next day after a day at Wembley was booked. But there is this top four berth now for Eddie Howe's side to protect.
Absolutely, 100%. And it could... A few people talking about, is it going to be after the Lord Mayor show?
You're going to say there was a few people still staggering around the streets now?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest, Dan. It would not surprise me. I know there have been a lot of people struggling for work, not on Wednesday morning, probably on Thursday morning, what the atmosphere in Tyneside was like. But they've still, you're right, third place. Third, fourth place is still up for grabs. And Newcastle, because of the way they've played this season and the way Eddie Howe has drilled this team and this unit, you would not think any sort of complacency of coming to it. We're inside an empty stadium at the minute. West Ham players are on the pitch. David Moyes, who, what a fantastic achievement. 400, this is his 642nd Premier League game as a manager. Goes past Harry Redknapp. Wow, what a man, what a fantastic achievement that is. But from a Newcastle point of view, no Grimares, huge loss, massive loss for this team. And will Anthony Gordon make his debut? Will Eddie Howe freshen things up? He hasn't in the past, but because of what happened on Tuesday night, I just wonder if he's thinking that a few fresh faces might be the way to go this afternoon.
Maybe more emotionally draining than physically draining the other night. A word on West Ham before we move on, Steve. A crucial win last time out in the league for them over Everton. Few players standing up, particularly Jared Bowen with the goals. Now the need to follow it up, to stand firm this evening at St James's Park.
It is, and the FA Cup game during the last Monday night, the rest of a few key players, Declan Rice didn't play, who actually just walked back down the tunnel as we're talking, and fully expect Declan Rice to lead West Ham out today. But the goals, it just seems goals from a West Ham point of view. Jared Bowen's got 4 goals. He's leading goal scorer. He's had 45 shots. You look at the other side. Miguel Almiron, nine goals from 46 shots, and Newcastle have got a few more goals than West Ham, and that's why they're in the position they're in. But I would imagine a fresh West Ham, few fresh players that didn't play the other night. The likes of Mikel Antonio got a goal, which was a positive thing, but like I said before, Declan Rice didn't play. You fully expect him to play, and Ben Rama as well, another one who's got 3 goals this season. He got rested. I imagine he will be playing in this game, and they need to score because they've leaked goals at the other end. The one thing Newcastle have done is kept clean sheets, so it doesn't have to score as many to win matches. Unfortunately for West Ham, they've conceded goals. Not scoring at the other end just makes it doubly difficult, and that's why they're 16th in the Premier League.
Harmy, thank you. Looking forward to the action. 5:30 Newcastle against West Ham. Steve Harmison watching for the Talksport Network. That was a look ahead to this afternoon's Premier League action. Don't forget that with Now Sports you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Newcastle versus West Ham live today for $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports.
Stay ahead of the game on Talksport 2 with Now Sports. Stream all the Sky Sports action like Newcastle versus West Ham live today for $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports 18+, stream via internet, terms apply.
Game day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Car Finance 24/7. Get your finance sorted first, then choose your car. Search Car Finance 24/7 today.
And he's barrelled it straight through the midfield into the Village Hotel Pub and Grill fan zone, the home of big screen live football. A long volley over the stadium seats by the giant screens into the left-hand corner of the bar, past a winning lineup of ice-cold beers and a magnificent menu of mouth-watering footy food. Result! Enjoy the perfect big match experience with food, drink and live football at a Village Hotel Pub and Grill fan zone at 33 UK locations. Find your nearest venue and win monthly prizes, including match tickets at villagehotels.com/fanzone. Get in! Conditions apply. 18+, always drink responsibly.
We've got it at Selco.
Selco, it's where the trade goes.
At Selco Builders Warehouse, we've got real deals on a wide range of trade quality building products. In February, we've got a 2.4 metre by 600mm sheet of 18mm P5 TNT chipboard flooring for only £12.99 ex VAT. Now that's a real deal. Find even more real deals at Selco Builders Warehouse and online at selcobw.com.
You got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade goes.
VAT charged at 20%.
What does Asahi Super Dry taste like? Crisp, refreshing and always super dry. A taste as unexpected and surprising as modern Japan. That's right, Japan's #1 beer. Asahi Super Dry, beyond the expected. Go to asahisuperdry.com to verify. Enjoy responsibly. Visit drinkaware.co.uk to find out more.
For all the top Premier League analysis, listen to The Game, the Premier Football podcast from The Times. Every Monday and Thursday, join Hugh Woosencroft and a host of big-name guests for in-depth reaction and opinion on the latest action and the biggest issues in the world of football.
It's a massive goal!
Hear previews of all the upcoming matches and provocative and compelling opinions from some of the finest football writers from The Times and The Sunday Times.
Lovely bit of football!
Listen to The Game on the free Times Radio app or wherever you find your podcasts.
Hello, my friend. Life comes at you fast, so make time for you time with Just Eat. For early times, lunch times, late times, strange times. The perfect times for the McDonald's Sausage and Egg McMuffin, Five Guys Cheeseburger and Strawberry Shake, Domino's Pepperoni Passion, plus more from Costa Coffee, Creams Cafe and Pizza Express. So order now, later, in a bit, whenever. We got it.
Did somebody say Just Eat?
Product subject to availability in restaurant and serving times. Participating stores only. See justeat.co.uk for details.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a treehouse in the garden.
I'm living my perfect childhood.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of June 2022 and 30th of September 2022 is under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Game day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Now Sports. Stream all the Sky Sports action like Newcastle versus West Ham live today for $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports 18+. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Game day. Feel the passion and the pride of the Premier League.
Oh, it's a stunning goal!
Game day exclusive
on Talksport 2.
This is Game Day. Half-time classifieds. Premier League.
Full time from earlier, it finished Everton 1, Arsenal 0 live on Talksport. Half times Aston Villa 2, Leicester 3, Brentford 2, Southampton 0, Brighton 0, Bournemouth 0, Manchester United 1, Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 2, Liverpool 0, 5:30 start Newcastle against West Ham.
Sky Bet Championship.
Full times finished earlier on Talksport 2. Norwich 0, Burnley 3. Full time also Rotherham 0, Sheffield United 0. Half times Huddersfield 1, QPR 1. Hull 0, Cardiff 0. Luton 1, Stoke 0. Middlesbrough 1, Blackpool 0. Millwall 0, Sunderland 0. Preston 0, Bristol City 2. Reading 0, Watford 1. Swansea 2, Birmingham 1.
Sky Bet League 1.
Half times Accrington Stanley 0. Lincoln City 1, Bolton 0, Cheltenham 0, Bristol Rovers 0, MK Dons 1, Cambridge 1, Ipswich 0, Derby 1, Morecambe 0, Exeter 1, Charlton Athletic 2, Fleetwood Town 0, Burton Albion 0, Forest Green Rovers 0, Peterborough 0, Oxford 0, Shrewsbury 0, Port Vale 0, Wickham 1, Portsmouth 0, Barnsley 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Plymouth 0.
Sky Bet League 2.
Full-time in League 2, Newport 2, Swindon 1, Bradford City 1, Mansfield 0, Carlisle 0, Harrogate 0, Colchester 0, Barrow 0, Crewe 0, Grimsby Town 2, Doncaster Rovers 0, Hartlepool 0, Gillingham 0, Crawley Town 0, Leyton Orient 0, AFC Wimbledon 0, Northampton Town 0, Walsall 0, Salford 1, Rochdale 0, Stockport County 2, Tranmere 1, Sutton 0, Stevenage 0. Sides back out at Molineux. Time for the second half. Perry Groves is alongside Ian Danter.
Thanks, Dan. Just back underway here with Wolves in the old gold and black, attacking from left to right as we look towards the south bank away to our right, the north bank away to our left. Liverpool in all red then are defending the south bank away to our right-hand side. No changes at half-time. We were talking downstairs, Perry, about the potential for, you mentioned it when you were chatting with Dan, at the half-time whistle. Jordan Henderson on, maybe. Other experienced players could be brought on. James Milner. We've also got Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. But Jurgen Klopp has clearly said, you got us in this mess, get us out of it, U11.
Well, he's probably given them 5, maybe 10 minutes, as you say, to try and change this around. But I think it's a dereliction of duty from the manager, because we've been quite kind on Liverpool, I think, Dan, haven't we? They have been absolutely abject. They've been in disarray. And I think it's the manager's job to try and sort of alter that.
Give you the lineups in a minute, but here come Liverpool down the right-hand side of the box with Darwin Núñez driving it against Lemina, and wins an early corner at the start of this second half for Liverpool. And Alexander-Arnold straight across to that corner where the North Bank meets the steeple stand to take it. A right-footed outswinger to come. Liverpool looking to get on the front foot in these early stages of the second half on Talksport 2. It's Alexander-Arnold's corner up to the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Kilman. Comes out to Gomez, who floats it out to the left-hand side and gets it back from Robertson. Gomez on the halfway line, drives it across for Alexander-Arnold, but it was too firmly struck and goes out of play in front of those Liverpool fans on the far side for a Wolves throw. So Wolves have Sarr in goal, Semedo, Dawson, Kilman and Ait-Nouri in the back four, Lemina, Neves and Núñez in midfield. It's now Traoré, Cunha and Sarabia up front. Hwang went off with a hamstring injury late in the first half. Derby go 2-0 up on Morecambe in League One, incidentally. Liverpool, Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Gomez and Robertson in the back four, Thiago, Bajcetic and Keita as the midfield three, Salah, Núñez and Gakpo up front. And Watford take an early 2-goal lead at the start of the second half at the Select Car Leasing. Ryan Porteous makes it Reading 0, Watford 2. 2-0 to Wolves here. We played a couple of minutes of the restart. Alisson has the ball at the edge of his own penalty area, plays into the feet of Bajcetic. Now Joe Gomez has it midway point of his own half. Early ball for Thiago. Looks up just shy of the halfway line. It's being closed down by Traoré. So rolls in Matip, who can carry the ball up to halfway and then find Mo Salah in the right wing position. Steps inside for a moment, Salah, on his 200th Premier League appearance. Not one to remember at this point for the Egyptian. Matip at the edge of the centre circle, has it back. Options right and left, goes to his immediate right, and Thiago. Now picked up by Joe Gomez for Liverpool, who swings it out to the left-hand side for Robertson. Early ball helped down the left-hand side of the area, and Gakpo tried to get across him, but it was well defended by Semedo. But it is another corner in the early stages of this second half to Liverpool. 2-0 Wolves.
Yeah, good run there from Cody Gakpo on the underlap. Robertson just bending it round. Traoré trying to bend it into his path. He said there, it looked like he got the wrong side of Nelson Semedo, but he slides it out for a corner for Liverpool on the left-hand side.
Which Robertson will take, whips in with his left foot, headed away by Dawson to the left-hand corner of the penalty area. It's kept in by Naby Keita. Tries to fire it into the box. It's headed away again. I think Ruben Neves was the man who got it clear that time. Then Liverpool give it away through Gomez. Can he try and win the ball back? He does put the ball out of play for a throw to prevent what would have been a lightning-quick Wolves counter-attack. 2-0.
It's just really sloppy play from Joe Gomez. That's the second time he's given the ball away under no pressure whatsoever in the first sort of 3 minutes of this second half. Just looking at him, Dan, it's like a player who's lacking confidence, you know. And if you're lacking confidence, just pass it 5-10 yards just to build that confidence up.
Goals elsewhere in League One. Portsmouth have taken the lead against Barnsley. Colby Bishop with his 12th of the season. Portsmouth won, Barnsley 0. And Gillingham, Sean Williams has given them the lead against Crawley. 3 unbeaten going into this afternoon. Spent a lot of money in the transfer window for Neil Harris. And they're in front at the Priestfield. And Derby have got a third against Morecambe, another for David McGoldrick. 3-0 they lead. Here's Andy Robertson at the edge of the area for Liverpool. The shot is blocked. Comes to Gakpo. Clips it to the far post. Headed out by Ait-Nouri. As far as Keita tried to drive it on the half volley from the edge of the area. And then Traoré just bulldozes his way out of the penalty area. Eventually Bajcetic wins it back with a brilliant challenge. And here come Liverpool again down the left-hand side of the box. Cody Gakpo tries to play a 1-2. Núñez across the face of goal. Keita tees it up and driven off the goal line. Kept in play. It hasn't gone over. Amazing block on the line to prevent Liverpool getting one back. Alexander-Arnold overhits the cross. They look to the referee, say, check your watch, but no goal given. It stays 2-0.
I think Andy Robinson is asking for a handball. He said it was really good play from Liverpool down their left-hand side. Come out to Naby Keita, gets his shot away, comes off of Andy Robertson. Then it
Oh, it does hit the hand
Max
of Kilman.
His left hand is just down by the side of his body. He hits his hand and goes back onto his midriff, so we'll definitely have a VAR check.
Meantime, Paul Tin is having a word with Andy Robertson, not booking him. And it looks to me as though the check is over and we are going to continue.
I think it's because his arm was in, obviously, a natural position down.
Yes, it was hanging down by his side. It wasn't away from him.
And there was no movement because he didn't have time to move his arm, to be fair, because Keita hasn't hit the shot properly. So it was decent play from Liverpool down there, left-hand side, crossed by Cody Gakpo. Keita should be really scoring.
Stays 2-0 to Wolves on Talksport 2. Nunez finds Salah approaching the edge of the penalty area, trying to get it onto his left for a shot. Instead he plays it to Alexander-Arnold, but is attempted slide pass to Nunez is intercepted. But I have to say, Julen Lopetegui looks a very nervous manager down there for Wolves. He's not happy with the way his team have started this second half. Liverpool on the front foot. Here's Cody Gakpo, left wing, comes in field, plays the ball into the box, but that's a comfortable claim this time for Jose Sarr. Liverpool still 2-0 down, but asking questions of Wolves now.
Yeah, especially down their left-hand side, where Robertson and Cody Gakpo have been instrumental. Just there, Gakpo just trying to cross the ball into the box and really should be feeding it into Darwin Nunez's feet and going to get the return pass. But Julen Lopetegui, the Wolves manager, would have known that this was coming down. He would have known, he'd have told his players that they can't be as bad as what they were in the first half. We were fantastic. They're going to come out of the traps very, very quickly, which they have. Liverpool at the moment dominating possession. Thiago getting himself on the ball, and just their passing just a little bit quicker.
7 minutes gone in the second half. On Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2. Wolves 2, Liverpool 0. Keita finds Alexander-Arnold. Lovely first on ball to the left-hand corner of the box. Picked up by Gakpo. They're going to face up Semedo. Tried to step in field and drive it. Goal was blocked by Semedo. Aït-Nouri heads clear. Cunha trying to bring the ball down. Can't do so. One back by Bajcetic. Now Salah in the area. Gets to the right-hand byline. Can't get the cross in. Wolves do enough to get it half clear. Indeed, it's toe pokes out of play by Cunha. They're looking nervous, Wolves, all of a sudden, and they're 2-0 up.
There's a bit of a role reversal. Liverpool now first to every second ball, every knockdown.
Bajcetic then trying to hook the ball into the area, having chested it down from the throw by Alexander-Arnold, but it just went into the side netting of Jose Sarr's goal, and Wolves will have a goal kick and a chance for a reset. But this is much, much better from Liverpool at the start of this second half. But they're still 2-0 down.
Yeah, just see if they can try and create a clear-cut chance. So a couple of their best chances have fell to Naby Keita, and he's not exactly prolific dancing or clinical in his finishing. But just looking at Mo Salah as well, he just got that ball there from Bajcetic. He's got a chance to whip it in first time with his right foot. He tries to go to the byline. It gives Aït-Nouri that chance to go and close him down.
2-0 Wolves, 8 minutes gone in the second half. Lincoln get a second to Accrington to lead 2-0. Sean Ruffin for the Imps. That's in League One. Here in the Premier League, Wolves 2, Liverpool 0. Alexander-Arnold just inside the Wolves half. Good ball to Keita at the edge of the area. Tries to feed it to Nunez to give it back to Keita. And there's enough old gold shirts around to smuggle the ball out of play for a throw to Liverpool down by the corner flag right-hand side.
Fantastic ball in from Alexander-Arnold there. Keita again just marauded in that sort of right-hand channel, getting himself on to the edge of the 18-yard box. Couldn't quite cut it back for Darwin Nunez. As you said there, 4 Wolves players go and close the ball down.
Matip now for Liverpool, striding into the centre of the Wolves half. Now he's being held up by Ruben Neves. Gets to the right-hand corner of the box, still going Matip. Down the right-hand side of the box, checks onto his left. Plays it onto the chest of Keita. Keita forward for Salah! Lobs it over the bar, and the flag's going to go up against him as he takes the shot anyway. And it will be a free kick to Wolverhampton Wanderers, but Liverpool keep knocking on that door.
Yeah, Ruben Neves did really well there, Dan, because as Matip come forward with the ball on the right-hand side, that 18-yard box, he just dangled his leg out, didn't he? And Matip was thinking, right, if you touch me, I'm going over. And Neves just managed just to pull his leg away. Keita's becoming more and more instrumental, Liverpool going forward. Mo Salah there just going a little bit too early. Quite rightly, the assistant on the far side flagged him for offside.
Wolves have lost all of their last 11 games against Liverpool, home and away in the league.
And I think Jurgen Klopp has won all 8 of these games, hasn't he, against
He has.
Wolves?
You have to go back to the John Barnwell era of Wolves, the last time they beat Liverpool in a league game. Here's Cody Gakpo down the left-hand side for Liverpool, playing the ball into the area, headed away by Dawson. Straight back to the area where Cody Gakpo stood in, level with the area, left-hand side, looking to take on Semedo. Plays the ball in field for Thiago, rides the challenge of Sarabia. It's worked into Matip in the centre of the pitch. Thought about having a go for goal, plays it into Salah with his back to goal, gets it back to Matip at the edge of the D. Tried a half-hearted effort at goal, but it was blocked by the chest of Kilman. And Wolves clear, only as far as by Cecic, who got a little clip there from Sarabia. That was unnecessary. Free kick for Liverpool. And Sarabia's lucky not to get a yellow card for that challenge.
Yeah, it was very cynical. Just trying to quell the flow of Liverpool's attacks, because it's been all Liverpool in this first 10 minutes of this second half. They haven't quite been able to fashion a clear-cut chance.
Here's Thiago.
Just need to ride this sort of mini storm out.
Now down the left-hand side of the box from Robertson, across the face of goal from Gakpo, cleared away at the near post by Dawson, but Gakpo has it back at the byline, left-hand side, rolls it back to Darwin Nunez, who gets the shot away again. Dawson's there to head it clear, and it breaks on halfway, but Gomez gets just ahead of Sarabia, and then Bajcetic lobs it over the head of Nunez, and he's going to win a free kick here, as Nunez just caught him late. They're taking it quickly. Robertson, left-hand corner of the box, tries to drive it goalwards. The Wolves fans were incandescent that they felt the free kick was taken a good 5 yards ahead of where it should have been. Anyway, Liverpool still have it. It's Robertson, left-hand side, trying to whip a crossing. Blocked at source by Semedo. He'll get it back now, the Portuguese right back. Just hits it up to halfway, but there's nobody there. In an old gold shirt, it's easy for Gomez to gobble it up. And here's Joel Matip. Finds Alexander-Arnold out to the right-hand side. Salah driving for the byline, looking to get away from his man. Runs out of ground, does he? But he has won a corner. Another corner, a third of this second half has gone Liverpool's way. 2-0 Wolves.
Good defending there from Matheus Nunes, because he realised that Ait-Nouri was overloaded on that left-hand side. Made sure he tracked the run of Mo Salah. Just managed to get his block in for a corner for Liverpool over the right-hand side,
which Alexander-Arnold will take. Wolves defending around the penalty spot. Nobody in the 6-yard box. It's going to be a double change coming up for Wolves in a minute. Raul Jimenez on in a moment. Here comes the corner from Alexander-Arnold, headed out for a throw-in. Colchester 0, Barrow 1 in League 2. Ben Whitfield for Barrow. And Birmingham equalise at Swansea. 2-2 now, Tahith Chong. Salah inside the Wolves penalty area, but can't wriggle away from the attentions of, again, 2 or 3 Wolves players around the ball, hassling and harrying. It's out of play for a throw. Down goes Cater at the edge of the area. Nothing doing, says Paul Tierney. And just anywhere will do for Wolves at the moment. Just getting up to halfway so they can try and reset. 2-0 up they lead, Wolves, and we're approaching the hour mark on Talksport 2.
Yeah, I can't actually remember Wolves having an attack in this second half, so it's been relentless pressure from Liverpool. They're moving the ball a little bit quicker, a little bit better. So Thiago's getting himself on the ball.
Ait-Nouri drives the ball downfield, and you're right, it's all the action's been away to our left-hand side as we look towards the north bank. Middlesbrough 2-0 up on Blackpool. And that's Chuba Akpom again. 16 goals for the season. And Cunha is coming off for Wolves to be replaced by Raul Jimenez. And Pablo Sarabia, the other player that is being withdrawn. And that means Jean Moutinho makes his 200th appearance for Wolverhampton Wanderers. What a great signing he's been for Wolves. Very cultured midfielder. And I guess Perry Grosjean's been brought on to try and calm things down a little bit.
Exactly, yeah. Just probably play a little bit more centrally, see if we can get him on the ball. So just to steady everybody down, because it's been relentless pressure from Liverpool. Wolves hadn't been able to get themselves any possession whatsoever. So just put a little bit of experience in there, a little bit of know-how.
So Lopetegui rings the changes exactly on the hour mark here at Molineux on Talksport 2. Wolves 2, Liverpool 0. I said Swansea-Birmingham would be 0-0. It's 3-2 now to Swansea. Joel Pirot gets his second of the afternoon.
Birmingham are the entertainers.
Here comes Gakpo, down to the byline, left-hand side, pulls it back from the dead ball line. It's spalled up in the air, but the ball had gone out of play. Looked like an awkward attempted clearance from Craig Dawson, but the ball had gone over the dead ball line before Gakpo crossed it. So after all that, it's Julian Lopetegui that blinks first from the bench and makes changes. Of course, he had to make a change in the first half, but still nothing doing from Jurgen Klopp. 2-0 down.
I mean, I think Jurgen Klopp will be pleased the way his teams come out in this first 15 minutes of the second half. They showed far more intensity than they did in the first half. There's far more endeavour. Their passing's a lot quicker. But we've just seen Moutinho come on. He's going to go in that centre midfield area, and he's going to try and lock onto Bajcetic, who's playing in that deeper midfield role for Liverpool.
Here's Matheus Nunes trying to win a throw on the far side for Wolves. Millwall have the lead against Sunderland through Jake Cooper. Millwall 1, Sunderland 0. Honeyman had a goal chalked off in the first half for the London Lions. 2-0 here to Wolverhampton Wanderers on Talksport 2.
Did you say Millwall have gone 1-0 up?
Yeah. Here's Gakpo in the centre of the half. He's been presented with the ball, finds Salah at the edge of the area. Salah looks for the far corner. It's just the wrong side of the post from Mo Salah. Just tried to curl it around Jose Sarr, desperately close to getting Liverpool back into this game. Salah grits his teeth and walks back to the halfway line. It's still 2-0 to Wolves.
Big sigh of relief there from Craig Dawson, under no pressure whatsoever. Just gives the ball away unnecessary to Cody Gakpo. He just transferred the ball very quickly to Mo Salah on the right-hand side of the 18-yard box. In there, just getting onto his left foot. He's trying to bend it in Jose Sarr's bottom right-hand corner. Just doesn't quite get enough whip on it. But Craig Dawson's got to be a lot better in possession because his team's been under pressure. You don't want to give the ball away unnecessarily.
Jimenez for Wolverhampton Wanderers goes for an acrobatic effort at goal from 35 yards out, looped way over the crossbar and behind for a goal kick. You're listening to Wolves 2, Liverpool 0 on Talksport 2 with Now Sports. Don't forget that with the Now Sports you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Newcastle West Ham live today for $11.99, no contract. Search Now Sports. Liverpool being pressed by Wolves as they try and get the ball clear in their own defensive third. They do get it clear up to halfway, but Wolves win it back. Moutinho just wins a header ahead of Thiago, but the ball breaks for Joel Matip, who just fires the ball on the half volley downfield straight to Jose Sarr, who hits it out of play for a throw to Liverpool in their right back position. 2-0 Wolves lead on Talksport 2. We played 63 minutes. Perry Groves.
Yeah, I thought the Wolves fans were just a bit relieved. Jimenez had that sort of spectacular volley dancing from about 35 yards over his right-hand side. He thought that Alisson was off his line, but I think, so the Wolves fans released, the ball went behind the goal. That enabled Wolves to push up even further and try and pin Liverpool when they're taking their goal kick.
Doing to Liverpool what they've done to so many teams themselves in the Gegenpressing era of Jurgen Klopp. Lemina steps in to win the ball off Keita, helped out by Ait Nouri down that far side. Little triangles are passing from Wolves now, trying to get a hold of the ball for a little while actually. Wolves, they want to throw left hand side. Fleetwood won, Burton won, couple of quick goals at Highbury. Jayden Stockley put Fleetwood ahead, but Adejeji Oshilala makes it 1-1. Burton equalised. Manchester United have a second at home to Crystal Palace. It's Marcus Rashford with a second goal there at Old Trafford. And elsewhere, Preston 1, Bristol City 2. Ched Evans gets one back for North End. Jordan Henderson will be on sooner rather than later for Liverpool. Just getting some final instructions from Jurgen Klopp, and he's going to be on for Liverpool's first change, and he's coming on to replace Naby Keita, who sprints off the field to allow Henderson the maximum amount of time to do what he can do. He's grabbed the captain's armband off Andrew Robertson. Jordan Henderson's back in charge out there. What can he do?
Well, he'll go and play on that right-hand side of the free in midfield. Just be interesting to see if he gets this further forward what Naby Keita has been getting himself, because he's the one who's been getting in that right-hand channel, getting himself up alongside Darwin Nunez. But the thing is, Dance, when he gets there, he's like a fish up a tree, basically. He's not used to being in that position, in and around the 18-yard box. So his quality leaves a little bit to be desired, because he had a couple of chances in the first half. He had a great chance in the second half, which Liverpool wanted a penalty, but To be fair, Max Kilman, his arm was in a natural position, but he should have been scoring from that position anyway.
Derby County 4, Morecambe 0. James Collins from the penalty spot. They're having a right old afternoon at Pride Park today in League One. Leighton Orient lead AFC Wimbledon by a goal to nil. George Moncur, 1 win in 7 for the O's, but they're still top. Oh, given away by Robertson. Here's Raul Jimenez, finds Adama Traore inside the area for Wolves. Right hand side, trying to get the shot away. It's blocked and volleyed clear by Matip and brilliantly controlled by Salah. Midway point of his own half. And Liverpool clear their lines, and they look long downfield for Darwin Núñez, who's in behind Kilman. Núñez drives it against Sarr, and it's blocked behind for a corner kick to Liverpool. Good save by Sarr.
Big save from Jose Sarr. Just a long raking ball from Alexander-Arnold. Puts it in behind Max Kilman. Darwin Núñez sees the whites of Jose Sarr's eyes. Maybe a little bit more composure, where he can just dink it over him. Decides to go through the ball with a right foot volley. Big save from Jose Sarr with his right shoulder.
Corner for Trent Alexander-Arnold, where the North Bank meets the Steve Bull stand. Rolls it back to the edge of the area for Thiago. He gives it back to Alexander-Arnold. Checks onto his left foot, whips the ball into the near post. Headed away by Semedo. Nobody on halfway for Wolves, so Liverpool have it back. Gomez out to Robertson on this near side of the left. Deep cross to the far post, looking for Salah. Headed half clear by Ait Nouri. Salah goes out to that far side to let the ball trickle out of play for a throw-in. Takes it quickly. And it goes back to Joe Gomez just ahead of the centre circle. Now Andrew Robertson brings it infield. Back to Gomez at the edge of the centre circle. Drives the ball out to Jordan Henderson. Being faced up by Matheus Núñez. Then Alexander-Arnold goes back to halfway. They're trying to be patient here, Liverpool, trying to pick their way through the Wolves back line. Midway through the second half, a quarter of the game to go. 2-0 to Wolves, and Bajcetic is fouled by Lemina. Free kick to Liverpool, about 25-30 yards out. Somebody's going to have a go from goal here for Liverpool. May well be Thiago, who spotted the ball down immediately. But a free kick to Liverpool in a dangerous position.
Really clever play from Bajcetic there, because he's got the ball, he's got his back to goal. He can feel Lemina just trying to close him down with the outside his right foot. He just rolls Lemina. Lemina has to bring him down. Said there, it's a free kick. Liverpool dangerous position just to the right.
Well, Alexander-Arnold, of course, likes his free kicks. You might remember his first goal for Liverpool was a belter in the Champions League against Hoffenheim. Not long until Liverpool get their Champions League campaign back underway against Real Madrid at Anfield. They've got a couple of Premier League games to negotiate before that. But what sort of mood are they going to be in by the time Real Madrid rock up on Merseyside? Alexander-Arnold very carefully pacing back from the ball. Robertson's over it as well. It favours a left footer to the right of centre, but Alexander-Arnold goes for it, tries to play it round the wall, comes back to him, and he drives it along the deck and wide. And a big cheer from the Wolves fans, as all it ends up being is a goal kick to Wolves. You're listening to Talksport 2. Elsewhere, Salford lead Rochdale 2-0 now in League 2. Hull 1, Cardiff 0 in the Championship. Cyrus Christie and Reading get a goal back against Watford. Reading 1, Watford 2. Tom Ince. And Derby 5, Morecambe 0 now. Jason Knight getting in on the act at Pride Park. Goal kick for Wolves. 2-0 up they are.
Dan, do you know when the coaches obviously do their due diligence?
Wait a minute, we'll just break off on that for a moment, because here comes Darwin Núñez down the left-hand side for Liverpool. Plays the ball across the face of the penalty area. A dummy from Henderson, thinking that Alexander-Arnold was steaming up right behind him. He was, but he was being watched by Núñez as well. And the ball's out of play eventually for a Liverpool throw. 2-0 Wolves.
You're talking about the wall that Wolves put up there, because they know Alexander-Arnold's trying to bend it. The two at the end of the wall were Craig Dawson and Max Kilman, the two biggest players in Wolves' team, just to make sure that he can't get it up and over, and it ended up hitting Max Kilman straight in the face.
Goes out of play for a corner. Liverpool's 5th corner of the game. All of them coming in this second half. Tainted to the near post. It comes back to Alexander-Arnold. Drives it into the edge of the 6-yard box, and Raul Jimenez just puts it out of play on the far side for a throw. Middlesbrough 3, Blackpool 0. Paddy McNair for Borough. Mick McCarthy knows the size of the task he's got on his hands with Blackpool struggling in the Championship. Here in the Premier League, very much Liverpool who are struggling. Got 20 minutes to save themselves here. Otherwise, it's going to be another defeat and another day in 2023 without a victory in the top flight. Here's Joe Gomez, runs into Moutinho, who then wins the ball off by Cetic, and Traore's steaming over halfway and he's onside and will pick it up, drift out towards this right-hand side. Traore into the area, plays it across the face of goal. Neves! 3-0 to Wolves. That's that. Game over. Season over maybe for Liverpool in the Premier League. Ruben Neves latched on to the pullback from Adama Traore and just waltzed through and slipped it past Alisson for the simplest goal. The South Bank goes berserk and Jurgen Klopp paces the edge of his technical area for all the pressure that Liverpool have applied since half-time. It means nothing because they're going to come away from Molineux with nothing. Wolves 3, Liverpool 0.
What a fantastic goal on the breakaway there from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Cetic gets caught in midfield on the ball by Moutinho. Fantastic through ball from Amanda Traore, just coming down this Wolves' right-hand channel. He gets himself just level the 18-yard box and normally dance. Traore's final ball leaves a lot to be desired. This time he gets a feeling Ruben Neves is marauding him through the centre of the pitch, gets his head up, squares it to Ruben Neves, takes a brilliant first touch, then just calms himself down and just rolls it past Alisson in the Liverpool goal. Fantastic breakaway goal from Wolves. Game done and dusted. Wolves 3, Liverpool 0.
The Wolves captain joins Daniel Podence as Wolves' joint top scorer in the Premier League with 5 goals. And this place has gone up a few decibels again. Casemiro sent off for Manchester United. They're 2-0 up against Crystal Palace. But a red card for the Brazilian. Meantime, Thiago looking for Andrew Robertson. Down the left-hand side for Liverpool, hooks a ball into the near post, put behind by Darwin Núñez. Goal kick given by Paul Tierney. And it is all going Wolves' way, but you do have to say, against the run of play, that third goal.
Very much so. It was all Liverpool in this second half. Wolves were defending valiantly, throwing their bodies in front of the ball. By Cetic.
Well, you can hear the chant, sacked in the morning, being thrown Jurgen Klopp's way up. Bet it's a long, long time since he's heard that sung at him by opposing supporters in the ground.
And Dance, I think it's a long, long time as well since Liverpool haven't scored for 3 games on the spin. I think you go back to December, January 2020-21 when they went a run of 4 games without a goal.
Well, down goes Cody Gakpo and wins a free kick at the edge of the area. So it's currently Wolves 3, Liverpool 0. And for the latest odds, head to 888 Sport, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get over 4.5 goals at 100-30, over 5.5 goals at 19-2. That's all thanks to 888 Sport. Made to challenge, made to debate, made to play. 18+, begambleaware.org. Forest Green 0, Peterborough 1. Johnson Clark Harris with his 16th of the season, putting a bit of pressure on Duncan Ferguson early doors as the new Forest Green manager. Pressure on Jurgen Klopp is intense here at Molineux, but Liverpool have a free kick at the left-hand corner of the penalty area. Robertson and Alexander-Arnold standing over it. Robertson floats it to the far post, headed up in the air by Lamina, and Jose Sarr can catch it at the edge of his 6-yard box and wants to clear it quickly. Gets it up to halfway. Jimenez can't get in front of Gomez, but Gomez took out Jimenez and gets a yellow card for his trouble from Paul Tierney for that challenge. Free kick Wolves in the centre circle. 3-0 they lead.
If I'm 3-0 up and you're Julian Lopetegui, you'd be saying to Jose Sarr, just calm yourselves down a bit. The game is done and dusted. He takes the ball out of the air and just smashes it on the volley, tries to get into Jimenez. It's not a bad delivery, actually. We said that Jimenez takes a touch. Joe Gomez comes in from behind, fouls him. And now that will probably enable Wolves just to slow the game down a little bit.
Free kick then to Wolves. Moutinho strokes it square back to the halfway line, and his Portuguese counterpart Ruben Neves. Now Kilman out to the left-hand side of Ait Nouri. Tried to nutmeg Alexander-Arnold but couldn't do so. Salah gamely giving chase, and the ball's whacked into the Wolves half of the field. Wolves win it back, and then Henderson hits it against Nunez and wins a throw for Liverpool. Early throw looking for Salah, backing into Kilman, went to ground. No free kick, says Paul Tierney. Ait Nouri runs into Alexander-Arnold. It's all a bit of pinball around the halfway line, and eventually the offside flag goes up against Raul Jimenez, and Liverpool get a free kick, but they've got less than quarter of an hour to do something about this scoreline. You're listening to Wolves 3, Liverpool 0 on Talksport 2 with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today, and Jamie O'Hara and Gabby Agbonlahor will be ready to take your calls on Talksport, Liverpool fans, from 5:30 to pick the bones over this one. 03717 223344 as Jurgen Klopp brings on Harvey Elliott for Stefan Bajcetic for these last 14 minutes or so to try and do something about this dreadful scoreline. A third consecutive Premier League away defeat coming up for Liverpool Football Club.
They'd only lost 2 away from home in the Premier League in their previous 36 matches. In fact, it shows you the complete disarray that Liverpool are in at the moment.
Ball's rolled back to Alisson, who is one of those goalkeepers who can keep a team like Liverpool in a game even if they are defensively shaky, because he makes such important saves. He did make an important save at 2-0 in the first half when Matheus Nunes was through, but you can't place any blame at all on Alisson for the 3 goals that Wolves have scored today. Ball whacked downfield, and Jimenez is onside and tries to lob Alisson from 35 yards out. There was definitely a Liverpool player playing him on. Ambitious from the Mexican, way wide. Goal kick to Liverpool. Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 1. The 10 men of United have conceded. Jeffrey Schlupp gets one back for Palace at Old Trafford. Villa 2, Leicester 2, Brentford 2, Southampton 0. No goals, Brighton, Bournemouth. And here in the Premier League at Molineux, Wolverhampton Wanderers 3, Liverpool 0. Mario Lemina thumping the turf in frustration, having been fouled in the centre circle. He will slowly get to his feet.
Just caught a little bit late there by Thiago. More frustration from Thiago.
It's not going well for Oxford under Carl Robinson at the moment in League One. They trail at home to Shrewsbury by a goal to 0. Ryan Bowman for the Shrews, who themselves are on the brink of 5 straight victories under Steve Cottrell. So Rangers 2-1 up on Ross County in Scotland. Remember, Rangers 9 points behind at Celtic, who play at St Johnstone tomorrow in the Scottish Premiership. And Lemina just sitting up, having had some treatment. Just a reminder that Talksport Breakfast is back on Monday morning. Laura Woods and Ali McCoist reviewing the weekend's Premier League football. Top guest, and I'm sure the way things are going at the moment, this scoreline, this result and this performance from Liverpool is going to be top of the agenda for Laura and Ali come Monday morning. 31,664 inside Molineux this afternoon, and the vast majority will be going home absolutely cock-a-hoop. But those Liverpool fans in that bottom tier of the Steve Ball stand opposite us, trying, well, 1 or 2 of them trying to raise their team, but a lot of them stood absolutely emotionless, trying to take in what they're seeing from their team on the road again.
I think that they're as shell-shocked as what Jurgen Klopp was in the first half, Dance, when we saw him, just retreat into his dugout with his arms folded. Couldn't believe the abject display we're seeing from his team. Liverpool came out in the second half. They were on the front foot. Thiago started to get himself on the ball. They put Wolves under a lot of pressure, but the difference is, Dance, in both teams, when Wolves are under pressure, their team shape and their defensive capabilities far outweighed Liverpool's, because you could tell that Lopetegui has worked on his back four, Dawson and Kilman, the 2 Wolves centre halves. They find themselves in front of the ball. They were nice and narrow, where Liverpool in the first half, their defensive shape was all over the place.
By the way, Villa 2, Leicester 4. Dennis Pratt gets Leicester's 4th of the afternoon at Villa Park. Tete scored on his debut as well for Leicester. Reading 2, Watford 2. Reading were 2-0 down, but now they're level at the Select Car Leasing. Jeff Hendrick with 10 minutes to go. Wolves 3-0 up here on Talksport 2. Brentford go 3 up on Southampton. Matthias Jensen with a third for the Bees. Liverpool trying to get something out of this game. Here's Harvey Elliott, first involvement, right-hand corner of the box, swings across in, looking for Gakpo, headed out by Semedo, drops at the edge of the area. Henderson lobs it back into the 18-yard box, headed away by Neves. Comes out to Thiago, he drills it out to Gakpo, sends another cross in, and a very comfortable claim. Once again, as so often this afternoon, for Jose Sarr in the Wolverhampton Wanderers goal.
Yes, just before that dance, it was brilliant defending by Nelson Semedo on his far post, because a decent ball in from Harvey Elliott. It looked like Gakpo was going to get a free header, and Nelson Semedo just made sure he tracked the run, got in front of Cody Gakpo, headed the ball away.
There's going to be a delay here because Mario Lemina's gone down again, this time inside his own penalty area. He picked up an injury in the first half. Just a reminder that tonight on Talksport 2 at 7 o'clock we continue our coverage of the Pebble Beach Pro-Am Golf on the PGA Tour. Gareth Bale has been making the headlines there in the past couple of days.
He went round in 65.
Yeah, he made the most incredible pitch shot from like a road at the edge of the green.
It's by a buggy, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah, amazing golf shot from Gareth Bale playing in the Pro-Am. I'm not sure that he's made the cut for the closing stages.
Don't people like that annoy you that are like brilliant at everything?
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably got a snooker table and made a 147. Yeah. He's probably got a dartboard and hit a 9-darter.
Exactly.
Yeah, annoying those types. Now, I don't think Mario Lemina is going to be able to continue. Raises his hand to the appreciation of the Wolves fans in the North Bank to our left. And Daniel Podence, whose hair these days is a very fetching shade of lavender, is going to be coming on. And also Johnny will be coming on as well. But Lemina replaced by Daniel Podence. And the other change, Ryan Aït-Nouri is coming off. So it's a straight swap, Johnny for Aït-Nouri. But he's had a good game, Ryan Aït-Nouri, the Frenchman, up against Salah and Alexander-Arnold down that right-hand side. You've got to be on your mettle as a left-back. Left-back, should I say, when you're up against those right-sided players in Liverpool's armoury.
Yeah, very much so. So he's been defensively, he's been disciplined. He's had some help from Mateus Nunes as well, just getting back, trying to help him. I'd say I thought Lemina was absolutely outstanding dance in the first half for Wolves, wasn't he? In that centre midfield area along with Ruben Neves, drop a little bit deeper, making sure, get himself on the ball, but then his closing down was absolutely exemplary. His work rate, and then that spreads amongst his whole team. He sets the example, and the rest of his midfield follow.
That's Perry Groves you can hear on Talksport 2. 7 minutes to go at Molineux. Drizzle starting to fall here in the West Midlands. And it's definitely raining for Jurgen Klopp. It's pouring down at the minute. Fleetwood 1, Burton 2. Thomas Hamer puts Burton in front at Highbury. Crewe 0, Grimsby 3 in League 2. And Millwall 1, Sunderland 1. Sunderland equalised through Dennis Sirkin at the Den. Here's Darwin Nunez, who's had another frustrating afternoon up front for Liverpool. Harvey Elliott scurries forward, works it out to the right-hand side. Triple change coming up for Jurgen Klopp, as Liverpool try and find a route back into this game, but they've got to find 3 goals at least in 6 minutes plus added time here on Talksport 2. Gomez, midway point of the Wolves half, plays it into Thiago. Henderson brought on to try and rally the troops, hasn't been able to do so. Now Harvey Elliott again, right-hand side, cuts in field. Good run from Elliott. He's going to go for goal. He tries a shot at goal. It's blocked away. Anywhere will do from Ruben Neves. And Podence can't keep the ball in play on the far side. But it is going to be a triple change for Liverpool. And the players coming on: Tsimikas, Oxlade, Chamberlain and Milner. Players coming off: Gakpo, Thiago. Just waiting to see who the third is. And the third player is Robertson. They all trudge off the field, just down beneath us to our left-hand side to put their tracksuit tops on. And I get the feeling that it's going to be a while before Jurgen Klopp comes out to face the press and have a chat with them, because I think Perry Groves is going to have a lot to say to his players behind that dressing room door once he's got them all back in.
Do you know what, Dan? So I think he probably had lots at half-time, quite rightly so, because his team were a shambles on and off the ball. There wasn't enough effort application. I think it might be at the end of it where you sit in silence, where when you go and see your parents and they're more disappointed and angry. I think you might just let it try and seep in, how bad they were in the first half.
Like when you get back from parents' evening. I love that analogy. That's nice.
Just complete silence, and they say, "So what do you think?"
Yeah. You get flashbacks. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Plymouth 0. What a big game. The top two meeting at Hillsborough in League One, and the second goal for Sheffield Wednesday. Oh, it's been chalked off. I thought George Byers had got it, but it's just been chalked off my screen, so it must still be just 1-0 to the Owls, but they still have the advantage behind the runaway leaders, Plymouth. We've got 4 minutes to go here on Talksport 2 at Molineux. Wolves 3, Liverpool 0. Harvey Elliott for Liverpool finds Alexander-Arnold right-hand side. Back it goes to Henderson. Henderson drives it across to Joe Gomez inside his own half. Tsimikas calling for it, but now Milner takes over. Milner gets his head up on the halfway line, plays into the feet of Oxlade-Chamberlain. He lays it off for Gomez. Now Oxlade-Chamberlain again trying to drift away from Jimenez. Plays a diagonal ball into out, looking to find Harvey Elliott, but it's won back by Johnny. And now Podence pokes the ball up towards Moutinho near halfway, but Liverpool have won it back. 3 minutes of normal time to go on Talksport 2. It's up to the edge of the Wolves box, but Kilman sticks his left foot in and gets it clear, but gives it straight back to Liverpool. Ball into the box and turned behind by Craig Dawson for a corner kick, and a little high five with his goalkeeper Jose Sarr as they defended that and got it out of danger. But it is a Liverpool corner, 3-0 Wolves.
Good defended again from Craig Dawson at the near post, just making sure that he occupies the area. It was a good win from Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Here comes the corner to the edge of the area, just bounces away from Tsimikas and Adama Traore. It's 4-on-3 for a Wolves counter-attack. Adama Traore got all the pace in the world. Can he slip somebody in? He slips into Jimenez. Oh, he couldn't get hold of the shot. He just poked it up in the air, and it was easy for Alisson to claim. A 4-on-3 break, but Wolves couldn't capitalise.
Again, brilliant play from Adama Traore on that counter-attack, running at full pelt, just waited and just slipped it into Jimenez, and he's just actually sliced the ball completely down, isn't he? So he just tried to dink it over Alisson. Maybe he could have taken a touch. In the end, it was an easy save for Alisson, but again, pace and power from Adama Traore on the counter-attack.
Here's Harvey Elliott for Liverpool into the last of 2 minutes of normal time, plus whatever Paul Tierney wants to add on for stoppages. Wolves 3-0 up. And they're going to follow up that home win in the Premier League against West Ham. Successive Premier League home wins. Here is Oxlade-Chamberlain trying to wriggle clear of the challenge of Matheus Nunes. And then Semedo hits it against Tsimikas and wins a throw in Wolves' right-back position. And you can feel that sense of relief around Molineux for the Wolves fans on the 3 sides who, at 2-0 in the early stages of the second half, were fearing the worst with all the pressure being piled upon them. But that third goal has just released the pressure valve, big time.
Say that Wolves were far the better side in the first half. Liverpool, for the first 25-30 minutes of the second half, were the better team. And the game could have swung on Darwin Núñez, couldn't it? Because he had a great chance, 1v1.
Yep.
Brilliant ball from Alexander-Arnold where Núñez should be scoring. He decided to go for his laces. Big save from Jose Sarr. And then that relieved the pressure. So then Wolves break away and score a fantastic counter-attacking goal. With Traore just rolling in Ruben Neves, who was very cool with his finish.
30 seconds of normal time to play. Liverpool coming forward, looking for what would only be a consolation goal at this point. It's Oxlade-Chamberlain winding up for a shot 30 yards out. It's deflected and wide. Won't even go in off a deflection for Liverpool this afternoon. They've got another corner at the North Bank end. We're about to find out how much added time we've got. Hartlepool lead at Doncaster late on in League 2. Daniel Dodds at the Keepmoat, and Barnsley equalised late on at Fratton Park against John Mousinho's Portsmouth 1-1. We're into 4 minutes of minimum added time. Corner to Liverpool. Tsimikas swings it in. Up go the heads. Gomez trying to get something on it. Again, it's cleared away. Chance for a counter-attack, but Wolves don't play it right. Liverpool win it back. It's with Harvey Elliott. Infield to Henderson. Henderson thought about a diagonal cross into the edge of the area, but instead it's squared across for Alexander-Arnold. Now Mo Salah, first time ball into the box, decent ball. It's Ruben Neves back doing the defending for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Then Moutinho just lobs it up to Jimenez, who can bring it down on halfway. Podence joining in with the counter-attack. It's floated across to Adama Traore. Almost got there, but James Milner got in a vital header. But Adama Traore takes it down to the corner flag on the far side of the field and then hits it against Milner, does he? Has it been given as a corner? Indeed it has. It's all going Wolves' way this afternoon. 3-0 they lead.
If there's one player you don't want to be going shoulder to shoulder with when you're in your defensive third, it's Adama Traore. James Milner had absolutely no chance there. Traore just shouldered him off the ball, just took it into the corner. Again, just showed a cool head where he decided what I'll do, I'll just flick it off for James Milner, get my team a corner just to run the clock down.
Jurgen Klopp just got his head down on the touchline, not even looking as Wolves take the corner. It's Johnny trying to slide it down the left-hand side of the box. Liverpool can break clear. Alexander-Arnold in an unfamiliar inside left position for the moment, gets up to halfway, plays a diagonal ball out to Harvey Elliott, right wing, immediately closed down by Nunez. But he'll have it again, Harvey Elliott. Looking for Henderson down the right-hand side, the ball's intercepted. And Wolves have it back. A couple of minutes of added time to go on Talksport 2. Ruben Neves casually keeps the ball away from Mo Salah. Has it again, Nunez, and Jimenez calling for it on halfway, but it's floated across to Nelson Semedo. Semedo up to halfway, they're cheering every completed pass now, Wolves fans, as Jimenez rolls it back to Dawson. They'll even cheer one roll back to the goalkeeper, Sarr. Now here's Kilman.
You can say to the Wolves fans, by the way, at the end of the game you'll be able to start giving the Olays and your team be 3-0 up.
It's worth the price of a season ticket alone, isn't it? Across to this near side again, Wolves come forward with Nelson Semedo. He'll suddenly put the afterburners on and sprint over halfway. Podence is in an offside position, so he plays it out to the right-hand side. And Jimenez, 3-3 at Swansea. Lukas Jukovic equalises for Birmingham late on. It was 3-3 there a couple of years ago. Wolves still in possession, 3-0 up. We're nearly out of time.
Did you? You have any doubts that your team will get back to 3-3?
Here's Moutinho. More completed passes, more cheers from Wolves supporters. Up to Jimenez on halfway. Turns away from Tsimikas. Feeds it into Semedo. Semedo looks for Adama Traore. Makes a dart down the right-hand side of the box. Swirls the cross just ahead of Podence. But Johnny will keep it in play on the far side. For Wolves. Gives it back to Daniel Podence, who's got Nunez with him. Nunez drives in field, plays it down the left-hand side for Podence, gets to the byline, looks deep to the far post for Adama Traore, thought about the volley but taken away from him by the head of Tsimikas. Back it goes to Ruben Neves, and now Semedo again.
Liverpool are just out on their feet. You know, when you've got a box that's on the ropes and you're waiting for your corner to throw the towel in, that's exactly where Liverpool have been in this last sort of 6 or 7 minutes.
Ruben Neves picks it up, more completed passes. The Wolves fans absolutely loving this. Listen to the applause around Molineux. We haven't even had the final whistle yet. And when that goes in a couple of seconds from Paul Tierney, the roof is going to lift off some of these stands. Back with Craig Dawson. There goes the full-time whistle. What an afternoon for Wolverhampton Wanderers in their fight against relegation. They win by 3-0 and plunge Liverpool's season further into crisis. Way off the pace at the top of the table, out of both cups. The Champions League remains their one hope of salvation this season, but they were outplayed in the first half here. In particular, Wolves were in 2-0 up, an own goal from Joel Matip on 5 minutes, and Craig Dawson on debut for Wolves smashed home a second on 12 minutes. Liverpool much better after the restart. Claims for a penalty against Max Kilman turned down when Naby Keita had a goal-bound shot cleared, but eventually Wolves got themselves a counter-attack. And Adama Traore, the quality of his ball sometimes questioned, but he found Ruben Neves with a lovely pullback from the edge of the area. Neves rolled it past Alisson, and that was that. The points are safe. Jurgen Klopp, more questions to answer for his players. Just how tired they are. How much have they got left to give this season? But the Wolves fans around us doing a jig of delight, because they're pulling themselves clear of trouble if they continue performing like this. Full time at a joyful Molineux. Wolverhampton 1 just 3, Liverpool 0.
Ian Danton, thank you as always. Trouble, real trouble. The wait for a league win at Liverpool continues. Olays in added on time. The Reds embarrassed in the West Midlands, humbled at Molineux. A little bit better, a little swifter second half early on, but left themselves with far too much to do. After a horror first half showing, Wolves had periods of pressure to deal with, to negotiate, and then with 20 minutes to go, it was wrapped up by Ruben Neves. Reward for the relegation fighters. Perry Groves, all we have to say really is they wanted it more.
Very much so. There was more hunger, more application, more desire, especially in the first half. I can't reiterate, Dan, how much of a shambles Liverpool were, because when you're away from home and you're fighting a team against relegation, you know that they're fighting and scrapping for their lives, so you have to match that endeavour. You have to match their work rate. Liverpool didn't, and the other difference is when Liverpool came out in the second half and they were on the front foot and Wolves had to defend, they had a far better team shape. The back four was a lot tighter. The midfield four got in front of those. They were putting their bodies on the line. You could tell that they were better structured than Liverpool. Liverpool just went into playing as individuals.
Yeah.
It was so shambolic in the first half. It was actually a little bit embarrassing, to see a team of Liverpool's quality. And I think what actually highlighted, Dan, was when we looked over, Jurgen Klopp was just sitting in his dugout, arms folded, sort of, blowing his cheeks out, just say, I don't know what I'm seeing here, I don't know what to do.
Well, dereliction of duty, you called it, from Jurgen Klopp, watching that first half, Perry, and saying we don't need to make changes at half-time. Improvements did come for a 20 minute period for Liverpool at the beginning of the second half, but looking at this Liverpool squad, their league standing, what's still to come this season, what they could fail to achieve this season, something's got to give, right? Just my view. At times today, looking at Klopp, looks like he's had enough. He looks beaten.
He looks like he was shell-shocked, I have to say. Sometimes you have to sort of gather yourself and have a sort of look at yourself and think, right, have I got any answers to this? Only he himself will know. Obviously, he's not going to get the sack from Liverpool because he's got so much stock for what he's done for the football club, winning Premier League, winning the Champions League. But this isn't a Jurgen Klopp team. This has no identity about it whatsoever. We said before the game, Dan, didn't we, about being leggy and not having that sort of intensity about
dynamism,
that. Yeah. So if that happens, great. But you can have a team shape, and you can have a little bit of spirit. There was none of that in the first half, and I'm just looking at, when you talk about leaders in the modern game, there's not many. On the pitch, you're talking about Thiago, very experienced player. Mo Salah, very experienced player, didn't really help his teammates out. Joel Matip at centre-half, inexperienced player. Trent Alexander-Arnold, to be fair, it was probably Liverpool's best outfield player. But you're looking around, they're all looking at each other, looking for answers, rather than taking responsibility themselves.
I think you could just hear our colleague Ian Danton chuckling in the background. I think Birmingham have won it late in the Championship at Swansea.
Have we?
I think you might have.
Give over.
I think you might have. I'm getting a nod from producer Scott. Just trying to get that confirmed.
I know it's 3-3. Goodness. Okay, well, I'll take that.
Wolves up to 15th. Yeah. Austin Trusty, 97th minute.
Trusty the process.
Wolves up to 15th. Perry Groves.
He's on loan from Arsenal. Yes. Let's get back to this game.
Back on subject, please.
Okay.
Wolves 15th. Up to 15th. They're going to be all right, aren't they?
Yeah, there's not going to be a problem whatsoever. They made the 6 signings, didn't they, in the January transfer window. Sarabia. He's been a good signing for him, given different option sort of in those forwards. Cunha works hard, didn't score today. You've got Gomez as well, who obviously didn't play today because they don't think he's quite ready at the moment.
But we talked about Lamina and how well he played.
Lamina was bit of a surprise, to be fair, because he was the one, and Wolves surprised. They played a 4-4-2, and you had Ruben Neves and Lemina completely dominating the midfield area, and Lemina was the one who was dropping deep, getting it off the back four, getting it off of Jose Sarr, just getting him ticking, and Neves played a little bit in front of him. So they were the ones who were instrumental in this Wolverhampton Wanderers victory, but you have to say that every single player of Wolves won their individual battles. Every single player, and the two centre-halves, Dawson and Kilman, were outstanding, throwing their bodies in front of the ball, making sure that they didn't get isolated together.
They won as one, didn't they? They won as one.
Exactly, yeah. It was just a very impressive team performance. You'd say it's 10 points now under Julian Lopetegui, the Wolves manager, from 6 games. So that's just taken the pressure. I think up to 15th now. So that has just taken, obviously, the pressure off. Because trust me, as a player, they say that they don't look at the tables. They do. And when you go into the dressing room, you see that you've jumped out of the bottom 3 into that 15th position. It just makes everybody else a bit more relaxed, around the training ground. You're a little bit happier. But the first half, I think Lopetegui will say that is the best first half performance under him since he's been here.
Yeah. Named a few candidates there. Time for us to pick our man of the match with Car Finance 24/7.
Man of the match on Talksport 2 with Car Finance 24/7. Get your finance sorted first, then choose your car. Search Car Finance 24/7 today.
Perry Groves, who's your MOM?
Well, Hwang Hee-Chang was very instrumental in the first half before he went off with his hamstring injury. I mentioned, obviously, Lemina, who I thought was very, very good. But I'm going to have to give it to the Wolverhampton Wanderers captain, Ruben Neves, because when you're at the bottom and you want players to take responsibility, it's exactly what he did. They controlled that centre midfield area, and he scored Wolves' 3rd goal that completely put the game to bed. Fantastic breakaway goal from Wolves, where it comes out from Moutinho to Adama Traore. Traore calms himself down, squirrels it into Ruben Neves, again takes a great touch and just sits Alisson down. So I think I'm going to give it to Ruben Neves.
Very Grosy and down to top work as always, boys. Safe trip home, thank you. That was our man of the match from today's game with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today.